Okay. Get YouTube chat open. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow. Okay. Let us look at the store. And what is being offered today? Ooh, thorn ornament. Okay, okay. That's not bad. How's it going, Shin? How's it going, man? What is this? This is for Pyrogale. What's up, Foot Fetish? What's up, Har? Man, this should look kind of ugly. I'll take the I'll get the thorn one. I don't know if I want to spend my money on that one or spend my bright dust on that one yet. I kind of want to save because like focusing bright engrams is cheaper than buying it outright, so I kind of want to wait to buy them from the store unless it's something I really want. Going Destiny 3, that's right, Zai. That's right. Okay, I gotta do triumphs today, guys. I want to guild my immortal title. Oh, so I need to do some stuff. So we're gonna do doing some campaign missions today. Get those done. And let's do. I'm also at the same time getting Catalyst done. 5e Pantheon, not yet. I haven't done it yet, but my clan and I are working towards it slowly. We're all pretty busy people lately, so we're working our way up to it, but we'll eventually do it. We'll eventually do it, and we want to do it legit too. So we don't want to. I mean, like the artifact glitch and the bubble glitch is patched now, but we're not going to use the div glitch or anything either. We're just gonna try to do it legit. You know.
I've seen terrible things.
Skip the cutscene. We don't need to see the Beyond Light cutscenes. We're good. We're good. I do want to eventually make a separate account and run through all the campaigns again.
I've tracked Varrix's distress signal beyond the ridge. We'd better hurry.
Go through it all one more time from
It was
scratch.
Varrix, you know. He instigated the riot at the Prison of Elders. He's equally responsible for Cade's death.
Regular Insurrection Prime is literally easier than the cheese. Oh, really?
No wonder he's
The cheese, you need some, because you don't have the damage buffs, you probably need some crazy stacking. Or like crazy damage shit to get that done. My team, we still don't, I mean, we've only had the time to do the Insurrection encounter once. And I don't think we all want to like figure it out without watching guides and stuff, like what the proper mechanics are supposed to be. And so there's this thing about like you have to get the symbols underneath, right? I don't really remember how to do it legit. Like, or at least how it was done before the Pantheon version, because it's been so long since I did that once it was sunset. But like the whole thing about the shapes underneath, we don't really remember how it works or what it's needed for. So we just had like 2 people or 3 people go underneath and get 2 times stacks, but we think it's supposed to be like everyone gets 1 stack. I don't even know.
Someone's been staying
We'll
here.
figure it out.
There's traces of darkness energy.
Yeah, to keep the div bubble up is not easy. Ah.
From Eventide, Clovis Bray's Golden Age colony here on Europa. Whoever was here was using it
see.
to track Varrix too.
Did you hear that they might just disable div in that Pantheon activity because they only have 1 more hotfix left,
It's not far.
or like major hotfix, and that's coming out on Tuesday. And after that, it's over. No more like proper fixes. At most, it'll be like disabling items. So div might just be cooked in that activity. Dude, it's kind of crazy how after they patched the bug on this gun, this thing just is dog shit. I just need to get the catalyst done on it. I've been sleeping on catalysts like over the past like 3 years. I get a catalyst, I'm like, it doesn't seem that useful. I'm just not gonna do it. So I got a bunch of catalysts to get done, and now I have the 25 or whatever that came out as well. Would be great to do Forsaken again? Yeah. Oh well. That was one of those things where it just didn't really make sense for them to sunset Forsaken. Like, you could make the argument like, oh, okay, like it kind of made sense for them to sunset, like everything pre-Beyond, like everything pre-Forsaken when Beyond Light came out, because of the whole like engine changes and stuff. Like there was an argument that made sense, even though it still sucked. But they sunset Forsaken after they did that. So I don't even know why they sunset that stuff.
Wait. Darkness. It's close. I feel it, but it's different.
Dude, I need 1K's caddy. I do have it, actually. I just need to level it up. Oh, cutscene. Yeah, I need, like... I don't know. I remember one of the reasons they gave... Damn, these cutscenes are so sexy. I remember, like, one of the reasons they gave for sunsetting Forsaken was, like, for continuity. Like, and it felt weird that Cade or something was, like, in the Forsaken campaign, even though he wasn't in the rest of the game. Like, I don't remember. Like, there's a stupid reason they gave. Just didn't make sense.
Wait! Aramis, old friend. These powers, they create chaos. They are changing you. This...
Aramis.
Cling to your machine god. With this power, we make our own fate.
Whoa, she said the thing.
Always playing pretend. Living in the past. I should have seen it.
Dude, honestly, I feel like House Salvation could have been way cooler. I don't think they like
Make an example of him.
gave Aramis or like the House Salvation enemies like enough stasis powers, dude. Hope she's doing good after Monument of Triumph. She, last we heard from her, I think she was on her way to Reese or made it there. I don't remember. She either made it there already or she's on her way. With the Echo.
Varric should be just up ahead.
I don't know. I don't think we got any lore about her in Monument of Triumph. Would have been cool to have a Reese expansion, though. I feel like one of the things about Stasis is... like, everything in Beyond Light was basically the repurposed Destiny 3. Like the canceled Destiny 3 assets. They just repurposed them, put them all into the D2. And because of that, it just feels like it just wasn't ready.
I'm picking up more chatter on the Fallen's comms.
Like the enemies weren't stasis enough. Stasis was too broken in PvP and stuff, but it was underwhelming in PvE. I don't know, man.
Hurry! You must...
Oh. Keep talking, man. Oh, gotta break him up. And also, like, I played, for one of the Triumphs last night, I was just playing for, like, 30 minutes before I went to bed. And I did the, what is it called? I did the,
We heard your message.
Exo whatever. Whatever these things are called. The Exo simulation things. And it just, like, looking at it, it just looks so odd because it's just pyramid assets that are just, like, spliced together. And I'm like, damn. Have you read the Assumption lore book? Yeah, I haven't. I read it on launch day. I haven't read it after that, but I'll need to reread it again. It's a pretty good book. It's pretty deep. A part of the... I'm obviously going to make a video about it at some point. Wait, that was it? I just have to kill the brig? Oh, okay. But... the final entry of that lore book really made it seem like the entire book was about something else, and it was all like an allegory. The doppelganger stuff was a mind fuck. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It kind of gives me the theory that like Ben in that lore book to me seems like a stand-in for 3. Right? Or at least in the final lore entry, Ben seems to be a stand-in for 3. And so as a result, because Ben had a doppelganger in the earlier stages of that lore book, and the way that everything was like talking about how there's an anchor, he has an anchor point, and that there's weird doppelgangers happening everywhere. It's like, it made me think that the 3 that died in Edge of Fate was actually a doppelganger or something. Or like it wasn't the real 3, and so the real 3 was actually still on Earth. But then there's also the lore entry from, I think it's a Sparrow, that talks about it's 3 speaking to the Traveler after the Traveler is like healing Earth, and it seems like the 3 that is now in Earth was actually the doppelganger, maybe, and that like the Traveler pulled 3 from a different timeline, like a different 3 from a different timeline to exist on Earth. Like it's either one of those two things. It's either it was the fake 3 that died in Edge of Fate, or it was the real 3, but the fake 3 is now what is on Earth. It's one of the two. It's very weird. Because to me, I linked it to, like, I gotta do a Nightmare Hunt. I linked it to, there's, like, this old lore entry. I don't remember where it's from, but it talks about, how, like, a theory about how ghosts resurrect their guardians. And there's, like, the ghosts are thinking, like, maybe what really happens is we pull, like, our guardian is dead, but when we revive them, we pull a different version of the guardian from a neighboring timeline where they aren't dead. And so I'm thinking, is that what's happening with 3? Did the Traveler pull a separate 3 from a different timeline into our timeline? You know? I need to go over it again. How's it going, Master? Cross did a viewer's bubble build earlier. I tuned into a stream a little bit. I saw him, only like for 5 minutes, I saw him playing with a bubble build. Was it pretty good? I need to mess around with new bubble stuff. But would fake 3's dying still cause extinction? The problem is, like... The problem is when it comes with, like, fake... Like, with the extinction thing is, like... We don't really know the extent of what that extinction event was supposed to look like. All we knew was that there was an extinction event coming. So, it's unclear... Like, you know what I mean? Like, now that we know that the Winnower is kind of involved, is it like, when they say extinction, are they talking about, like, the end of the universe? Like, the Winnower winning in the end type of extinction? Is it, like, just everything on Earth dies? Is it the solar system dies? It's like the extent of what the extinction was supposed to look like, we don't know. So it's hard to tell if it's, like... If the death of 3 just set events into motion that led to, like, system-wide extinction, or if it's the extinction was linked to the Earth, like, transmutating. I don't, like, you know what I mean? But do they know what happened before they died? Kind of like when they learned that when we became a guardian, we forgot what our life was like before becoming a guardian. Like, you mean, like, 3 being, like, helped by the Traveler? When I said, like, it's kind of like a ghost reviving a guardian, I mean more so, like, if, like, I'm already a guardian, and then I die, and my ghost revives me. Like, the theory of the ghost was, like, or the theory of that I can't remember if it was a ghost or a different character in that lore tab, but what they were theorizing is that the guardian that's revived is actually from a neighboring timeline. So it's not so much like I would forget, you know what I mean? So 3 would still know what was up, you know what I mean? In this instance. But I don't know. I need to reread it all again to get a more concrete understanding. Like, I would say the most likely thing is that the 3 that... I don't know. I really don't know, to be honest. I was going to say it's more likely that the 3 that died was a doppelganger. But now I'm thinking that's not true. Maybe it's the other way. I don't know. I think the lack of resources from leaving Activision during Shadowkeep hampered what they could do with the Pyramids aesthetic at the time, hence why we didn't see it fleshed out until Witch Queen. Yeah, I mean, like... And also, I think the change in direction as well. Like, by Shadowkeep, Bungie knew that they weren't doing D3. Like, at that point, D3 was already cancelled. And so, their original plan for what was going to be with the Pyramids changed. Like, the Witness didn't exist until Shadowkeep, right? And so, I think that the Witness was kind of like a replacement for what was originally planned for the saga. And so the old aesthetic of like just the pitch black pyramids with red accents, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't fit their vision of what they wanted for the Winnower, or sorry, for the Witness. And so they just redid the whole aesthetic of the pyramid architecture just to match the Winnower aesthetic they wanted. I do wish Bungie had the foresight to start teasing the Dread in Shadowkeep, but that would have been literally impossible at the time. I wonder if the extinction was supposed to happen. They were teasing it in case they could go to Destiny Infinity. Like, the extinction was going to be a reset of the universe. Maybe. Yeah, the extinction is... It's hard to know the scale of it. But in terms of the Dread stuff... Like, outside of... Like, the Dread is kind of weird because they were created inside the throne... Like, inside the what do you call it? Inside the Pale Heart. What's up, Kaioken? Let me do this one. The Cunning in the Throne World. Find the Drake tank during the escape. So the Cunning in the Throne World. Let me do that one. Where do you do the campaign missions again? Oh, here. I guess I can just do it on normal. The Cunning. How's the experience going? It's going good, Salazar. It's going good. But the thing, Cartho, is like, the whole idea of there being like a pyramid race or a pyramid faction has been a thing for a very long time. And has been a thing since Destiny 1, before Destiny 1 even came out. Like, Christopher Barrett... Oh, no, I don't know. It wasn't Christopher Barrett. It was, there was another guy who posted on Twitter about his work on Destiny 1 before it came out, like pre-production. And that the original plan for the pyramids was that they were going to be a darkness faction called the Glimmer. And there's whole concept art he posted about it, and so like the whole idea of what was supposed to be inside the pyramids was so different, and it evolved completely over time. So it's unfortunate. We never got to see the Glimmer. And then there's the whole thing about the Veil. The Veil, I mean, like, when I say the Veil, I mean pre-Lightfall Veil, where there was the original Destiny 3 leak before it got cancelled, which talked about how the new enemy faction that was going to be inside the pyramids was an enemy faction called the Veil. But then that obviously never happened. So, pyramids, the whole thing about the pyramids has changed many, many times.
The Scorn are even more entrenched than the last time we were here.
Oh yeah, Scorn have dug themselves in deep down here.
You know. Have we ever gotten any hints that exoplanets have their own 9 types? I think the closest we have to that lore, lore suggesting that, is the Echo of Reese. where the Echo of Reese seems to be like, you know how like each echo is like a manifestation or like the memory of like a dead thing, basically. Like we had the Echo of Command, who's the memory of Tikal, Echo of Navigation, which was the Echo of Oryx. So there's a suggestion that the Echo of Reese is actually the memory of the... They're called Gaia forms, so the Gaia form of Reese that died. But it's not confirmed, but that's what people think. It's difficult to know because there's the whole thing that Allison said, where Allison said that the 9 are the rules, is what she said. Whatever that, like the rules of the universe or whatever. So it's hard to know, like, if the 9 are the rules of the universe, would other Gaia forms also be the rules? And so, like, what rules are they then? You know what I mean?
So Savathun built a mausoleum for her younger self, then abandoned it.
You know?
Why?
I don't know. Embarrassment.
Oh, Deep Sight.
A little ashamed of their past.
I'm a firm believer that Strand was always supposed to be in the Witch Queen, and that Deep Sight was just a replacement as they removed it from the campaign because Stasis was too broken. So they removed it from the campaign so that they gave it more time to cook, and so that they could bring the OG subclass, the mono subclasses up to 3.0. But Bungie denies it, but I think they're liars. I think they're liars. I don't think it's a coincidence that Deep Sight exists in basically every platforming section. That would be perfect if there were grapple points. That name would be messy with the currency Glimmer, I know, right? I mean, it's not, like, Bungie's, Bungie is not afraid of naming multiple things the same thing in their game. We have the Duality Shotgun exotic, we have the Duality Dungeon. I think there's a couple of other things called Duality in the game. Like, there's so many things that are named the same. So, who knows, maybe this was pre even the currency being, like, created, but... Or maybe there would have been lore tie-ins, like Glimmer was actually the dead remains of the Glimmer species, and blah, 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 or whatever.
So, that's the temple Savathun dedicated to herself.
Yeah, exactly. The currency is also part of the race Glimmer. Yeah, exactly.
Quite a sight, isn't it? Can't accuse Savathun of being too humble.
Kind of dumb question, not really lore related, but have you ever thought of any backstory for your Guardian besides being the Guardian?
Use your senses, Guardian.
Unfortunately not. I've never really thought about doing that. Like, a couple of people asked me that a couple weeks ago. Like, they were like, yo, what's the name of your ghost? Or what's the backstory of your Guardian? And I'm like, you know what? I never thought about doing that ever. So I do not actually have any backstory. I think the currency had some sort of ties to the race initially, maybe. Yeah, I think it's possible. Maybe it would have been like the Glimmer, or like the original Jovians or something, and not that maybe whatchamacallit, Zur was actually a Glimmer guy, and instead of strange coins, we would have had Glimmer would have been his currency or something. You can come up with a story pre-resurrection. I could think of it. Maybe I'll think of it sometime soon. About like what was my Guardian like? What's the name of my ghost? I have no idea what ties Zur would have had in the Statin cut. Dude, like, the whole lore about the Jovians is so crazy, because
on what we found so far.
We're only now at the end of service, finally getting answers about the Jovians, which is crazy. Which makes me think like maybe the Jovians would have been like almost like a not like they could have been like an enemy faction or whatever, and like the Jovians could have been like the 9 faction we fight or something. Like it would have been so cool. Imagine Zura as like a dungeon boss or something, dude. Like a raid boss. Zura, I know you served us well, but the Jovians are our enemy now.
Guardian, look. That plate in the center should lower the drawbridge.
Yeah, you're right, Cartho. It was definitely a third iteration. Was definitely a prototype for heat weapons. I wonder. I think they might have said that, like that it was it was like something they were working on for like proper weapon, like it as an actual weapon type, if I'm not mistaken. But it is like the thing about third iteration is it feels kind of like a crafting gun, like a shotgun scout rifle, you know. Just probably their inspiration. Imagine glimmers, their souls broken into pieces and just used as currency, dude. And it would have been so cool, like if they did that with that glimmer species. Is like, if like, because the thing about glimmer is that it's like transmutable matter, so you can use glimmer to basically make anything. And so like it would have been cool, like if there is a tie-in there to what was supposed to be this glimmer faction. Like, what does that say about the faction themselves? Like, are they able to mutate themselves and whatnot? And like they can transform like a shape-shifting enemy or something.
The only thing here is the statue.
Pretty cool, you know.
What? There's gotta be more.
The concept of the 9 originally comes from myth. If I remember correctly, they were like the 9 different celestial wizards who represented Bungie themselves. Yes. I remember that being part of the consensus, especially after Dares of Eternity, where like the main thing about the 9 was they were supposed to be kind of like Bungie, like a Bungie self-insert. Obviously that changed, but it's interesting to think about, man, how like the story has changed so much and how Bungie's repurposed some of these assets or some of these storylines to fit different narratives. Do I have to do something? Oh no, now he's here. The incomprehensible Star Horse, yeah. I remember the whole Star Horse stuff. It's like, what even is Star Horse, bro? I don't even know.
Don't tell me the Guardian did all
The
this
Galaxy Horse.
No, there's something there, I swear. Wait. What is the
I don't know if I'm just not remembering what it was, but
One part of the statue. That worm familiar looks like it's a separate piece.
Of course. This is Savathun's temple after all.
picturing a Glimmer faction to act like the Flood, but without the parasite aspect. Maybe I can find the concept art that was posted. But they seemed like more like a properly civilized faction and not like mindless parasites. More so like almost as though what became the Glimmer, like what was supposed to be the Glimmer was almost like what the precursors of the Witness were supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Last one died cursing the dreaming city. This has to be another illusion.
Ahamkara illusion.
Ikora's right. This is an illusion. Just a very, very realistic one.
Lame. It should have been a real one. It would have been cool to have it be like a real one, to be like, yo, Savathun low-key is balling like that. She's got an Ahamkara. that she hit her in her throne world. Like, she would definitely do something like that.
The hive magic powering that illusion is limited. If you escape, it can't follow.
No chance of that. Exit's completely
She
blocked.
stashed an egg, yeah, dude. Like, that would have been... That would have made sense.
Come from somewhere.
She did the whole, she made a deal with Riven after all. What's up, East Killers? How's it going, man? How's it going? Guys, we gotta shoot eyes! Shoot eyes! Else we're gonna wipe. Would have been crazy if Bungie made people do legit Riven. You gotta remember the eyes and you gotta shoot them. Savathun would want this. Get good, guys. Oh no. I gotta get the Drake tank. What the fuck? East Killers with the Prime. What? Bruh.
Any suggestions?
Thank you, man. Took a time off Destiny, but gotta be back for Monument of Triumph, dude. You got it. It's really good. You haven't played it yet? You gotta hop on, dude. It is a banging update. Oh, maybe I gotta do Deep Sight first to cross.
We gotta find a way out.
How do I get across otherwise? Wait, the Drake tank didn't spawn? Nah.
On our own. Let's go, Guardian.
Oh, no, I gotta go... Wait, what? Do I gotta do this all over again? Because... the tank isn't there anymore? I gotta do it for this freaking Triumph. Hell nah, what the fuck? Surely not. Bruh. Oh no, it's right here. Okay, thank God. It just wasn't showing it to me. I gotta kill all the abominations for the Triumph. Oh, that's not it. What's my... Is it Q? I don't... Oh, there it is. Any more abominations that I'm missing, guys? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. No way that's it, right? Ah, here's one. I'm gonna go up yet till I kill it. Okay, looks like all of it.
Ghost. Guardian. Come in. Are you there?
Hopefully that's all.
We're here, Ikora.
Oh no, is there another one? There's another abomination that I missed. Oh my god.
Thanks for the concern.
Paul Tassi posted on YouTube. What did he post?
I never doubted you for a second.
I gotta do this all over again.
You two could handle that Ahamkara. Wasn't even a real one.
Marathon.
Danger was real.
That's about the
Never should
marathon
have sent the Guardian in on such shaky intel.
PvE
Even
mode.
if it was our
Does he have any inside information about it, or is it just about the news? Because I already made a video about it. About the PvE mode for Marathon.
Yes. Let's hope.
Yeah. Go team.
I feel overwhelmed. I need to find people to play with to get that 1K catalyst. Dude, you gotta do it. I got it already, but yeah. I need to level it. I need to get the catalyst complete. But apparently it's pretty good. The 1K catalyst is pretty good, apparently. So I've got Marathon PvE. Yeah, so the Marathon, if you go on bungie.net, there's a whole article about the PvE mode that they released yesterday. It's probably just talking about the news. It's just it's basically what they're doing for Marathon PvE is it's kind of like a roguelike mode or roguelite in Cryo Archive. So It sounds pretty interesting. So I'm gonna check it out when it comes out on July 21st or whatever. I misspoke in my video. I said it was June 21st, like an idiot. But it's July 21st. About the Glimmer, Ultravision said they wouldn't have been like the Flood. The Pyramid Race was always a parallel to the Forerunners and Yarrow. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. Very similar. And then Brazer said there's things they could literally still tie in with humanity and the precursors. I think it's possible they could have had an influence on humanity in some other worlds we know of. We know could have been garden worlds. Yeah, that's the thing, Brazer, like, especially with the precursors, like there's the lore about how they basically fertilized worlds for life. It's almost very similar to the Yarrow from Marathon, where they also basically did the same thing, where they terraformed planets for life, and whatnot. Like Lahawan is a good example of that. Earth was probably a thing that they also terraformed. So like, honestly, the precursors were almost like a stand-in. They almost did the exact same things the Yarrow did in Marathon. But we never really got more insight into that, outside of, what's that lore book called? From the... Oh, I can't hit shit. From the final shape. Entelechy, that's what it's called, Entelechy.
The Scorn are even more entrenched than the last time we were here.
In the Staden Cut, they would have... oh my god, I can't believe I say that. In the Staden Cut, they would have originated from the Black Garden, but still most likely had some human ties. And the Veil were more likely to just straight up ancient humans. Interesting. Interesting, Ultrarisen. Yeah, so the Veil and the Glimmer, I guess, would have been different species then. All I remember about the Veil is the whole stuff about the leak originally, or for the original vision of that species. And there was a couple of concept art that came out. But I don't know, like, if the concept art of, like, there were, like, these giant, like, Cyclops-looking things in the, like, coming out of the pyramids. Like, these, like, apparitions. I wonder if those were supposed to be, like, the Glimmer, maybe? And then, like, everything else, all the other, like, actual physical creatures were maybe the Veil? You know what I mean?
So, Finch, tell us more about this temple.
The Veil and Glimmer are effectively two iterations of the same thing from two different eras. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So Savathun built a mausoleum for her younger self, then abandoned it. Why?
I don't know. Embarrassment? Who isn't a little ashamed of their past?
Oh, Finch, we know. We know. Finch was kind of like the precursor to Nimbus, and we didn't know. We didn't realize. But Finch is like the more tolerable Nimbus. Where Nimbus is just like, holy smokes, dude, just shut up. Versus Finch is like, okay, like you're a ghost and you're a hive, so you're supposed to be a bit weird. So it was tolerable. But Bungie was like, oh, some people like Finch, let's turn it up to 200. Hell nah. Hell nah. Yeah, Finch is annoying, but he can read the room, exactly. And Nimbus is annoying, but can't read the room. I think that's actually a perfect explanation. Like a perfect summary of their character styles.
It's...
Like, Finch is like, yeah, I'm an idiot. I rezzed a ghost. I know. I get it. Like, he's kind of like, yeah, I'm stupid. I know. Like, he's self-aware almost, but Nimbus just isn't.
There's no way to lower the bridge from here.
The uglier they are, the harder they fall. Exactly.
Your senses, Guardian. You've gone too far to turn back.
Nimbisms. Instead of calling it like, millennial humor, like Cork Chungus, they should be called Nimbisms. How much more do I have on this catalyst, dude? I don't want to use it anymore. Almost done. Almost done. Guys, I still got to do Mythic campaign on Kepler, dude. It's probably not as bad as it was, but that shit is. I'm not looking forward to doing that. I got to do it for the title. The precursors is too important of a civilization to be forgotten in the story. I yearn for an interaction with the missing precursor. Oh. What was the name? What was the name of the guy from Entelechy who never merged with the Witness? Was it like RS or something? It's kind of crazy they didn't have actual names. They were just like numbers. But
The Traveler and the Last City.
I really wish like we got to like, or maybe like even if like that precursor is long dead. Like, if we had, like, an echo of it or something, like, that would have been sick. Precursors were 100% going to be relevant again. Concept art for one of the Praxic temples shows a statue that also appears in Pyramid Race concept art. Wait, really? Okay, I'll need to look into that, Ultra Risen. I didn't know about that.
Guardian, look.
RS6. Ah, I see. Yeah, this codename was RS6. Man. I really wish we got to see more, man. RS6, like, now that we know that Teox is alive, RS6 was gonna be, like, the new Teox. Of, like, the hidden master behind the scenes. That would've been sick. New conspiracy unlocked. I'll send you on Discord? Okay. Perfect. Masterwork complete. Okay, let me use I gotta get Kvostov done. I'll use Kvostov instead.
Good. Once you're in, head straight for the statue Finch described. If this fits the pattern, the object should be nearby.
I got budget Ghost Primus.
Guardian, Ghost, have you found the object yet?
The only thing here is the statue.
Like imagine the knowledge we could gain from the interaction. They could help us using pyramid tech for good. Dude, imagine that's how we get like the Resonance subclass. We speak to RS6, who's like he gives us that power over the darkness to control the pyramids and stuff. That'd be sick. Do you guys think that Resonance was always supposed to be the third darkness subclass? A part of me feels like it was, man. Like, because there's the whole, like, mural in the pyramid ship. And I'm just like, you can't look at that and not think that Resonance was going to be the third subclass. You know what I mean? Because it shows all the colors. It showed the colors of Stasis Strand and then this other, like, orange, yellowish subclass.
I'm sorry, but it doesn't look like there's anything here but the
Unfortunate.
statue.
Finch, please don't tell me the Guardian did all this.
Who's the
for
current
nothing.
champion of the Winter War?
No, there's something there, I swear.
I don't know. As far as we know, the Vex.
Or one part of the statue.
The Vex are.
That worm familiar looks like it's a separate piece.
Of course. This is Savathun's
How's it going, Shin Malfur? Yo, Shin Malfur's in chat, guys. Yo, Shin Malfur, I heard you were hunting Dredgen Bales or Bales Dredgens, dude. The Guardian technically, just not willingly. Yeah, honestly, you're kind of right, Ultrazin. It's kind of weird, the whole dynamic of the Guardian and the Winnower. It's like it's a battle of outcomes, really. Or like it's trying to figure out who's ultimately right in the end, right? Like, because the Gardener is using us, the Guardian, right? The Guardians broadly as the Guardians who, you know, who protect the garden, the peaceful kingdom ringed in spears, right? Like the kingdom of diversity that resists against the simplification of the universe into the final shape. And that when given power over creation, the flowers will choose instead, you know, diversity instead of the final shape, right? And so, like, that's our goal, right? To defend complexity. But the Winnower is like, listen, man, no matter what you do, it's happening regardless. Even if people are peaceful, even if the world is hunky-dory, like, everyone's nice to each other, it's inevitable. It will happen. And, you know, so, but he believes that obviously, like, violence is a tool that is used to make the world move, or the universe move towards the final shape faster, right? And so he's like, listen, man, you're a tool for the Gardener, and your violence is your tool, and keep doing it, because it ultimately helps me out. Because you're going to be the one at the end of the universe with me, right? Almost like a Durandal and the security officer style situation, both of them at the end. During the closure. Bungie gave me a 4th dimensional ability. I succeeded with that mission. Let's go, dude. I mean, yeah, Bale's in the last city now. He gave up, dude. All thanks to you, man.
We're on our own. Let's go, Guardian.
I do want to make another Winnower video soon. I need to get over there, dude. Don't turn back me. Here, we're chilling. Alright, so there's gonna be an abomination that spawns here that I missed before. Just double check. Dude, move, man. Grid skipper. Can I get through the damn opening? Holy smokes. Okay. Oh my word, man. Can't drive a tank. Okay, there should be one more abomination to kill. And that should be everything. Hopefully that's the end. I didn't miss an abomination.
Ghost. Guardian. Come in. Are you there?
But in terms of enemies, that would... Ah, there we go. I got it done. Nice. In terms of enemies, that would direct... With direct ties to the Winnower would be the Taken and Soul Divisive. Yeah, basically, yeah.
Well, I never doubted you for a second.
Outside of the Dire Taken, which seems to be a different... Seemingly, I would say that in a similar way to how the Winnower and the Witness kind of didn't agree with one another and butted heads in their philosophy of the final shape and of existence and whatnot, I would say like the Lord of Every Nothing is in a similar situation. Ooh, Cosmodrome is up. How long until Cosmodrome is over? 50 minutes. I might do some Cosmodrome stuff because I need to get the armor. In a similar way, I think Lord of Every Nothing and the Winnower probably don't agree as well. Like, because in a way, it's like the Winnower is about existence, right? Like proving your right to exist. And so those who don't exist are nothing. And so because they are nothing, they don't have the right to exist. But then the Lord of Every Nothing is like, hey, listen, I'm nothing and I exist, right? So it's almost like contradictory. Like it's almost like a direct ideological opposition, which is crazy considering how, you know, the Lord of Every Nothing is, at least in Heresy, was said to be taking over pathways that belong to the Winnower, right? Seemingly as though it's almost like a territorial battle within the Ascendant Realm or whatever. The best explanation for broader narrative between Garden and Winnower that Ven told me is that it's all basically just a cosmic custody battle. What is this? Yeah, I think that's somewhat of a fair thing to say. Oh, was this final shape stuff? What the fuck? Who would this? Is this Shimao Furman? A casting Goldie gun. Why is it? I don't know why that's appearing. Yeah, because in a way, like, because it obviously talks about how the Winnower is, like, you know, trying to convince the Gardener, or the Guardian to join his side, and a part of that has to do with, like, the wager, right? Of how the Guardian is the final argument of the Gardener. And so if the Winnower can convince the Guardian to join its side and fight, you know, on behalf of the final shape or whatever, then it kind of, in that way, is proving the Gardener wrong. But regardless, like, kind of like how, like, the Winnower still says, like, even if you don't join my side, I'm still right. Because regardless of what you do to resist the final shape, he believes it's going to happen anyways. And so it's mostly almost like just like a, you could argue it's like a personal jab to try and convince the Guardian to join him. Because it's like, listen, man, I'm gonna win anyways, but it would be nice if I could just convince the Winnower's, you know, final argument to join my side as like some petty thing, like almost in like you said, as a custody battle. If like the divorced parent, if one of the two divorced parents was like, I don't need the car, but I'm going to, you know, I'm gonna get the car anyways, as like just to try and like spite their spouse or their former spouse or whatever. Who's the Winnower? Did he win over? He's one of the two two primordial creators of the Destiny universe. Oh, my hammer. Where'd it go? Oh, it went all the way over there. I'll get it back. I'll get it back. RS6 probably would have been the only individual that had more knowledge on the Garden of Winnower than anyone else, I feel. The knowledge of paracausality itself. That's an interesting thing to say. I think it can get a better left column perk, I'm pretty sure. The thing about the precursors is they have like a very unique understanding of the Gardener and the Winnower, and just, or I don't know, but maybe not Gardener Winnower, but at least like light and darkness, and their understanding of suffering and paracausality as a tool to end suffering or to cause it, you know, like the whole thing about the light was a tool they used to shape the universe, but because it didn't have a purpose or a design in mind outside of just existence and preserving existence, it caused chaos, right? And with chaos came suffering. And so that's why it desired the darkness, because it saw purpose in the darkness as a winnowing, like a knife that shaped the garden into a shape that had purpose and finality, right? Which would ultimately, at least by the philosophy of the winnower, would end suffering by turning existence into this final thing. Right? Winnower, I hardly know her. The winnower is type B sword logic, where the winnower are type A. I would argue it's the opposite. The thing about the differences in sword logic, but I would say that the hive practice sword logic in a similar way that the winnower practices sword logic. Like, you could say, like, the winnower is sword logic itself. The difference, the bigger question is more so, like, what is the purpose that they use sword logic for? Right? Like, the winnower uses sword logic, or believes, or is sword logic, and sword logic is the purpose to bring the universe into its final ultimate shape, right? While the hive also believe in this final shape, this final perfect existence, but the purpose that they use sword logic for is to kind of empower themselves, right? So that they, by killing and destroying others, harvest their energy so that they can try and be that final perfect existence in the end, right? Damn, these guys are great. Everything was just dying. Never seen stuff die that fast. Was it the Warmind build, maybe? That was crazy. There was a thing over here, if I'm not mistaken. I saw Dredgen in the Cosmodrome earlier. He was just staring at the sky. That's crazy. I was playing, he actually showed up in stream later, but I was playing Gambit the other day. There was this guy named Dredgen Morn or something. I was playing with. Where's the other stuff to freaking clean up? I'm in my power washing duties. Gotta clean up the muck and the dirt. We can't let Eclipse energy run amok around here, boys. Not on my watch. Damn, noting? I can do the signal. How do I get there? I'm just gonna go here. Dredgen Moore was not an NPC. It was Dredgen Morn. I think that it was just a player name. It was just what their Bungie name was. I'm mostly referring to the precursors having more time than those forces than anyone. They must understand it better than anyone, so the insights would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, it would be crazy. I mean, like, they were the first species to be blessed by the light, and the first, like, the witness cutscene calls them the first victims of the blade or whatever. Like, so they were also likely not only the first to experience the power of the light, but also the first to experience the darkness, which is very interesting. What's up, Dredgen Pain, dude? Dude, Shin Malfur's in here. Dredgen, get him. You mean Dredgen? You mean Erismorn is a Dredgen? No. I'm talking about there was just a player. There was a player. It might have been Moraine. I don't know what his name was. There was just like a player I was playing Gambit with. And his name was Dredge. His Bungie name was Dredgen Moraine or Dredgen Morn or something. There's a bit of Eclipse energy I'm missing. Dredgen Morty, yeah. Where the freaking Eclipse energy, man? I need to power wash this shit. What the hell? I missed the spot clearly. Eclipse energy, where are you? Dude, what? Oh, I guess someone else cleaned it. Do I have time to try and find out how to freaking get there? I feel like I gotta get there from the it's almost, it's probably in the Lost sector, isn't it? That's not worth going to right now then. Do you think think it's possible the final shape as a concept originated from the precursors rather than the Winnower? They speak of it before they have the Veil and Teleki. No, I definitely think the final shape is a witness thing, or sorry, Winnower thing. It's more so that final shape of the witness is the precursor's interpretation of the last true shape the Winnower speaks of. Exactly, right? Like, there's multiple different interpretations of what the final shape is. Like, even there's like, I think it's from in the Inspiral lore book, it talks about how the different disciples of the witness had different their own each interpretation of what the final shape looked like. And so ultimately the final shape, there's like the true final shape, which is the vision of the Winnower, which is that, you know, eventually there will be the final existence, which is basically everything that needs to exist for like the only things that exist are the things that need to exist for existence to exist. That's kind of convoluted thing to say, but that's basically what the Winnower's final shape is. Like, only the prerequisites remain in existence, or only the requisites, not the prerequisites. And that there would be this final ultimate being of existence or whatever. While the final shape of the witness is more so the calcification of the universe, so that nothing can ever happen again, so that suffering can never happen ever again, right? But like the way that the Winnower speaks of the final shape is that like the existence itself will recognize the necessity of the final shape, or will recognize that the universe is moving towards the final shape, and will ultimately always come to the Winnower's logic that existence will eventually come to that final pattern, right? And so the precursors definitely came to that conclusion even before they... I mean, I think they might have had the Veil at that point already in Enteleki, but I don't remember exactly the timeline of events. But they would have likely come to that conclusion that there is some sort of final existence. They were just debating as to what that final existence looked like amongst themselves. You know?
Vanguard scouts report a fallen mining crew is about to touch down near...
It's a little bit... If you read the Winnowing lore tab, it kind of talks about how... basically, once again, it's the Winnower and like reinforcing what he believes is the inevitability of the final shape, and that the flowers, right, in the game, the flowers in the garden will, like, even without the presence of a hand, without the presence of the Winnower or the gardener at all, they will still come to the conclusion that a final shape is necessary for the universe, and therefore, you know, even if there's no hand to wield the knife to shape the garden, the flowers themselves will reach for the knife, you know, and shape the garden themselves. Oh, did I F for a second? Oh, sorry guys, frame drop. Hopefully it'll clear up soon. don't know if you guys missed what I said or not, but yeah, basically there's the true final shape and then the interpretations of it from other things. The final shape is the flower game put on pause, whilst the true the last true shape is the fulfillment of the conclusion of the flower game. Yes. Yeah, it's difficult because it's obvious that Bungie was making this stuff up as they went along. Like, it's kind of difficult to call it the final expansion the final shape when the idea of the final shape is not exclusive to the Witness and is just a concept that exists within the fundamental stories of Destiny. And so if they ever wanted to do a Winnower story, the final shape would obviously be brought up again. So it kind of sucks because when you talk about the final shape, people don't know which one you're talking about. And it just kind of sucks. And I think maybe that's why Bungie did the pivot of like, oh, it's not the final shape, it's the fated end or the fated whatever, right? They kind of like changed the wording of it to talk about fate rather than a shape so that people wouldn't get confused, you know? Even though it's still ultimately talking about the final shape. I might be making this up, but isn't there a lore tab that says our universe is the final game of the flower game? And unveiling the Winnower implies that the Guardian is the Gardener's final argument, which implies that if the Guardian fails, then there is nothing else beyond that. Yes, yeah. Essentially, this is the final flower game. That's basically been what's communicated, because all the other instances of the flower game happening all happened within the garden before time, before existence came to be. And so now that existence exists and the Winnower and the Gardener are now rules within the game and are hands that manipulate the game, or manipulate the universe, this is like the final game. It's the final argument. You know, they say that you know, the Winnower says that they're playing for keeps now, right? Like, this is the final, whoever wins is it. This is the final one. This is the final run of the game. And so, because we, the Guardian, are the final argument, like, we are the argument that when given power over creation, we will choose to build a peaceful kingdom rather than, you know, pursue the final shape. And like what Ultrazen said, like, if we fail in this argument, then the Winnower wins and the final shape occurs, or if we win, then the Winnower loses and the final shape does not occur, right? That's the ultimate thing. That's shit ass. We up. It's kind of precision final blows on a sidearm though, kind of ass. And that's the thing that I kind of want to make my video about the Winnower, is that I've talked about this multiple times on stream, so I don't want to bore the regulars here with the same conversation. But it's just that there's this misconception that if you fight against the Witness or the Winnower, then you are ultimately proving it correct by fighting against it, when that's not necessarily true, because you're only proving it right. Like, the Winnower is only proven right so long as the final shape happens. Like, if the final shape doesn't happen, then the Winnower is not proven right. Like, that's the whole crux of the argument. That regardless, that no matter what happens in the universe, no matter who's doing what, that the final shape will occur. Even if everyone's nice and peaceful, holding hands, singing Kumbaya, it's still inevitable. It just changes the timeline, right? It's just like, okay, instead of happening in you know, 1 billion years, it'll happen in 10 billion years, right? Like, that's just the difference. There's a difference in scope, right? But it is inevitable from the view of the Winnower. And so if it ultimately never happens, then the Winnower is proven wrong, right? And so if like, I don't think that we'd ever be able to kill the Winnower, as like, doesn't seem like that'd be possible in the Destiny universe, but you ultimately never know. But let's say hypothetically, we fight the Winnower and we kill it, right? So long as the final shape does not happen, the Winnower is still not proven right by killing it. But, because the whole crux of the argument is the final shape. Now, like, to be fair, there is still nuance in the logic of the Winnower, right? Like, it's not like a part of the Winnower is he believes that violence is ultimately like is morally good, because like violence, it's almost like if like it's like kind of like the means justifying the ends. Like, the Winnower believes that the final shape is the ultimate good form of the universe because it removes suffering from the universe, right? Because the only things that exist are what should exist, and because they should exist, there is no suffering. And so to not have the final shape is morally wrong, but to have the final shape is morally good. And so in order to get to the final shape faster, violence pushes the universe there quicker, and therefore violence is good. Right? And so that's why the Winnower is pro-violence in that sense, because it pushes the universe, the final shape, faster. While the Gardener, you know, people I think make the mistake of saying that the Gardener is anti-violent when it's not. It's just more so permits violence under certain circumstances, so long as it is used to protect complexity from those who seek to winnow it down, you know, to the final shape or whatever. Like, violence is permitted to protect the weak rather than to be used to destroy it. You know what I mean? It just depends on the context. But ultimately, it all depends on the conclusion of the argument, of the final shape happening or not. Rolk the football kicker. That should be it, right? Ah, here it is. We've already sort of proved the Winnower wrong on a smaller scale with our final battle against Oryx. We used corrupted light that was going to be tied to Oryx to weaken and destroy him. In the aftermath, we left the Taken Throne vacant. I personally believe the events of Taken King is what initially got the Winnower invested in the Guardian in the first place. Honestly, I think that's not I think that's not a bad idea. I think that's because the whole point of it is like sword logic versus bomb logic in that sense, like using the parts of that were available to us, and then put like the base pieces and putting them together to create a bomb, right? That's like the whole basis of bomb logic, to use complexity to create a stronger weapon. And so by doing so, we, in that moment, like you said, on a smaller scale, proved the whole almost like supremacy of simplicity that the Winnower is arguing about wrong, right? So I think that makes sense. And in doing so, like, because the whole purpose of sword logic is to, like, you know, be selfish, be cynical, you know, like, fight for yourself. Because ultimately, like, listen, everyone wants to exist. That's the whole point of the struggle to exist. So let's struggle, you know, try to be the last shape, the final thing, right? Because in a way, like, although the Winnower, I don't think has... I think the Winnower himself is the embodiment of his own logic or his own arguments. On like a smaller scale, Oryx was kind of the argument of the Winnower, but not like in a true sense, in the same way that we are the argument of the Gardener. Because like what the witnesses, the Winnower has said multiple times, like it is the question. It's not. It's, you know what I mean. Like it is who. Like he is what causes people to question existence and the nature of reality, rather than him going out giving answers, right? Can I get a refresher on bomb logic? Bomb logic is basically the inverse of sword logic. Where sword logic is about basically the supremacy of simplicity, right? Like winnowing the universe down into its final base points. You know, the strong consuming the weak, right? Like it's like an army of one, you know, who is so strong that they can overcome, you know, existence. Be the final existence or whatever. While sword logic is kind of like, rather than being, you know, one person as strong as a whole army, you're a whole army, right? You're complexity put together to create, you know, a stronger weapon, right? Like how a bomb is not just one simple thing. It's made out of chemicals and a fuse, and you know, and that those chemicals and the fuse work together in a complex chemical reaction to create an explosion. And so it's complexity, right? It's a complex item to create a powerful weapon, rather than a knife, which is just a simple edge that, you know, cuts. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I feel like I fucked up the sword logic explanation, but they're kind of the inverse. Instead of a complex weapon, it's a simple one, or the whatever. I actually made a video about sword logic and fundamental malicious. It's fundamentally malicious, and how the Winnower is not a neutral entity a few months ago that aged extremely well. Oh yeah, I mean, like, there's no way. Like, the Winnower is for sure a malicious entity, yeah. Like its whole, at least from, I mean, I guess it comes to the argument of like, what's it called? Relative morality in a way, but like, if we're going through like a more objective sense of what is evil and what is right, you know, what is right and what's wrong, we would look at what the Winnower stands for, its whole philosophy, from our perspective, from like a human perspective, basic moral perspective, and be like, yeah, that's evil. That's just wrong. You know? To be pro-violence and killing, so that it's like saying it's the whole thing is that, you know, if the whole purpose of morality is to say, let's reduce suffering, let's end suffering, you know, you could either be like, hey, let's end suffering by giving everybody everything they need so that everyone lives, you know, in accordance to what is necessary for their existence, so everyone's comfortable, everyone's happy, let's live peacefully so we don't kill each other and cause suffering through violence. The other thing, that's more so the philosophy of the Gardener, to end suffering in that way, or even then, like, a part of the philosophy of the Gardener is that suffering is almost like a necessary evil for existence, and that to have existence that suffers is better than an existence that doesn't suffer, or then it's better than have no existence that doesn't suffer. You know what I mean? Or, like, I guess the better way to say it would be, existence that suffers is better than no existence at all. While the Winnower is kind of like, in order to stop oh, you're suffering? Well, why don't you steal from the other person so that they suffer instead of you? But then also you could just kill them, and then they won't suffer anymore anyways. You know what I mean? Like, if you kill them, they stop suffering. So let's just kill them to end suffering that way. Right? It's like, that's like a much more evil way of viewing suffering and the end of suffering than to say, let's give everybody what they need. Bomb logic isn't as understood as sword logic, I feel. Yeah, it isn't as touched upon as much. I think they might have touched on it a bit in the final shape, if I'm remembering correctly, but wow, I literally just got the exact same roll I got previously. I mean, I'll keep it, maybe. Yeah, but bomb logic is effectively just it's the argument of complexity. And that complexity supersedes simplicity. And the same way, it's the opposite for sword logic. That simplicity supersedes complexity. And that the simple knife, you know, the sword is a much more useful and better weapon than a bomb. Right. Get full permission to react. And maybe I might want to do reactions soon. So maybe I'll give it a look at some point. I still got to look at the what you sent me on Discord, actually. The concept art for whatever it was. I'll pull it up on stream. What the fuck? Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, I'll pull it. I'll do this. I'm gonna do this distortion thing, and I'll show it. I'll show it on stream. Dude, why is my game lagging? Bungie, please. Dude, yeah, that does really reinforce. Okay, well, I'll talk about when I show it on stream, so you guys know what we're talking about. But that concept art really does reinforce the idea that the winnower was always going to be involved. How? It seems a little weird that the 9's distortions can affect Savathun's throne world, which is paracausal in nature, but not the Pale Heart. Yeah, I think the only... And same thing with Neomuna in a way. I mean, I guess the only thing you could argue is, like, the logic behind that is... If we were to do, like, an in-game lore explanation, is that the reason why distortions can't happen on Neomuna or in the Pale Heart is because... It can't happen on Neomuna because of the Veil and the Traveler. They just stop it from happening or whatever. But the more likely explanation is that it's just because it's a video game and they had limitations to be able to let it happen on those destinations. Because the Pale Heart is a solo destination and they have Overthrow, which is like the public event. That probably wouldn't really work well. It probably wouldn't jive well with the distortions activities. But then they also have, and then on Neomuna there's also the what's that activity called? It's like Vex Incursions, the Vex or something like that. I don't remember what it's called. Terminal Overload, I think, which is also a destination event that probably wouldn't have worked well with distortions. That's probably the #1 actual reason why it's not in the Pale Heart or Neomuna. But a lore explanation is probably because the Veil and the Traveler, you know, they're just different levels of paracausality. I mean, and then the other thing is like, okay, well then why don't they happen on Kepler, right? And the other thing is also probably because it's a video game and Kepler is also a solo destination, so they couldn't do, and there's no public events on Kepler. So, or are there there's no public events, right? So they wouldn't put distortions there either, you know what I mean? So that's probably the #1 reason. Not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind a sort of grim Dark Destiny game where we were in the future and failed to bind the 9. I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind the more darker tone. I feel like we haven't really had a darker tone for Destiny since like D1 or like maybe Forsaken. Lightfall was supposed to be that, but they fucking screwed that up. Do you think they left certain plot threads open in case another game is greenlit? Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely think. I mean, Bungie definitely wants D3 to be greenlit. That's for sure. I don't think. And another thing is, a lot of the story beats we got in this update were meant to be in Shattered Cycle and in Shadow and Order, and potentially even The Alchemist. So. And we also know that the majority of Bungie just didn't even know that this was going to be end of service. So I'm willing to bet that they didn't they kept these storylines in the game so that we would see what is coming in case we ever get a new game. But these storylines were probably already written, or they already wrote them, because they were supposed to be in the game later. You know? Like, the whole thing about, what is it, about, Savathun and Teox, like, that was for sure some Shadow and Order lore that was gonna build into, like, The Alchemist or something. And a part of it, what kind of does suck about this being the final live service update is that some of the lore is a little bit difficult to now interpret, or like is slightly inconsistent. You know, like there's the whole thing about how Dredgen Bale is no longer the vessel for 6, which like you would think is okay, that's fine, but then when you read the whole lore about this is pretty good actually. When you read the lore about how Bale and 6 and Savathun were gonna make a deal to kill Maya Sundaresh and open a portal into the Vexnet to find Teox. You know, it's like, if Bale is no longer the vessel for 6, like, is that deal still up for grabs? You know, like is that deal still a thing? You know, it's just like, you can't, it's hard to say. There's also the thing about Maya, how she's given up as the conductor. She relinquished her control over the Echo. So how does that play into the whole Savathun, Maya Sundaresh thing? Like, was Maya always going to give up her control over the Echo, or was that something they created last minute because of end of service? You know, it's hard to tell. You love Thorn? Thorn? I used a bit of Thorn in the first week of Monument of Triumph, and it was hitting way harder than I remembered. I was like, damn, this gun feels good. Welcome back, Master. What shard? What are you like? You were grinding for Ascendant shards? Is that the type of shards you were grinding for? Obviously not legendary shards. Those things are cooked. Ascendant shards, yeah. They're actually pretty easy to grind for now, I find. I'm maxed out on them right now. It's good though that they made them easy, because like otherwise, before it was kind of hard to get them, I feel like. And it just kind of sucked, because now we have all the armor set and the stats, so you need a fuck ton, dude. Especially when it takes like 3 shards to masterwork a full tier 5 armor set. It's like kind of crazy. There's this one. One more corruption. Where are you at? Oh, there it is. Stop running. Prisms are hard to get. Yeah, I find it's always prisms. Prisms are for sure the harder one to get. And I think it's just like you don't get a lot per activity. And then like also like you need a shit ton to masterwork them. I got you, what's your name? Last Mars. I got you, man, I got you. Still crazy to me that the whole Fate Saga was a red herring for the Winnower, and the Nine's initial plan was to empower the Guardian as the weapon enough to propel them to the end of time to convert the Winnower. Dude, don't even get me started. Would have genuinely been cinema, dude. Like, I honestly, I really want to know how Shattered Cycle was supposed to play out and see how that transition was supposed to be made, like, properly in game. Because that would have been insane. That would have been crazy. And based on the leaks that we got for what Shattered Cycle was supposed to be, Shattered Cycle was supposed to be when everything transitioned, right? Like there still would have been the whole bind the 9. Like we still would have had to get the outer 9s in check, but it would have been like pretty quick after that to wrap up the whole 9-centric part of it, get them in line, and then the it would have been transitioning into the Winnower after that. How's it going, Pinhead Larry? So has Bale's Dredgens and his Imperium collapsed when he dipped? No. Bale, I don't know about the Dredgens part, actually. We know that they're being hunted by Shin Malphur right now. But in terms of the Imperium, right now they're building towards an invasion of Torbottle. That's what the Barrent Imperium wants to do.
Please be advised. A Glimmer extraction crew is about to touch down near your current position.
Wait, do we know why Bale used his mercenary cabal instead of the Barrent Imperium in the exotic mission? Because the Imperium thought Bale was dead? Wait, is that actually why? I actually didn't know that. Where is that said in the lore? I figured that he was just using the Totality Division just cause I don't know. I didn't even think about it, to be honest. Well, because... Is that true, though? Because in the lore it talks about how Bale reached out to Premier Loom, and Loom just, like, ignored him. So maybe he just lost connection with the Barrent Imperium, and then the Totality Division was, like, all the guys who were answering to him still. Am I missing Cosmo distortions? You are, man, but there's only 8 minutes left, so... Only 5 minutes left, so you load in now, hurry! Hurry! I need to grind the planet armor. I've gotten actually some pretty good rolls today on the Cosmo armor. It's just that when I was grinding Lost Sectors, dude, I was getting the worst rolls imaginable, man. Actually insane. But I'm getting some decent ones. I need good class items, though. My class item ones have been shite. If Bale loses the Imperium, that kind of removes most of his threat. Yeah, it kind of removes half of his army, right? Like, because the other half is like part of it is the Cabal, is the Barrent Imperium. Otherwise, it's the it's just his Dredgens. So unless we were gonna get like a Bale Dredgen faction, you know. You want to see my really cool idea that I think Bungie was going to throw in for a twist with the Maya Cinderesh Savathun fight? Go for it, man. What's your, oh my god, I keep forgetting to pull up the freak. Let me show it to you guys. Ultra Risen showed me some concept art on Discord. Am I on? Oh, I have display capture on. I didn't even know that. So this was one of the concept arts, and then there was this one. It shows like this is like some D3 assets that were supposed to be in the D3 game before it got canceled, and you can see them show up in Renegade's concept art for Praxic Temples, and it's kind of linked to the. Let me get window capture working, guys. 1 second. There we go. And so it kind of shows how, and we kind of know now that Praxic Temples they had links to the darkness anyways, but it kind of shows that maybe the Winnower would have been involved all the way back then. How's it going, Orca? Man, I'm hungry. I might need to get a snack. So I get that Maya and Savathun were supposed to be fighting at some point. However, the Lord of Every Nothing needs a way out of the Ascendant Plane. What if Maya's death becomes intercepted by the Subjugator and Heresy that we know is alive, gets the Echo, and the Lord of Every Nothing uses the Echo of Command to combine the Vex network to the Ascendant Plane? That would have been cool. Let me see. I don't know if it's the Friends lore book or not. But there's a lore entry that talks about the Lord of Every Nothing. Okay, it might be just a different lore tab. And it talks about taking Six's place, I believe, as the, basically like when Six ascends his orbit and escapes Saturn, the Lord of Every Nothing kind of wants to take over Saturn, like Six's position as like the 9 of Saturn, kind of. So you're not wrong. I mean, the Lord of Every Nothing does want to escape the Ascendant Plane. It wants to expand its reach beyond the Ascendant Plane. And what's interesting almost is like, in a way, like the Lord of Every Nothing and Six kind of want to like swap positions, because Six wants to create his own throne world and escape his orbit to go into his own throne world, which throne worlds are within the Ascendant Plane. But then Lord of Every Nothing also wants to extend his influence beyond just the Ascendant Plane. So it's almost like they're swapping positions. Which is kind of funny. What happened to the Lord of Every Nothing? Yeah, basically, is it supposed to be the 9? It's not a 9, but it's its own entity. But yeah, it wants. It's difficult to know what its role was going to be in like the grand scheme of the Fate Saga, But yeah, part of it, what it wanted to do was like expand its influence beyond the Ascendant Plane and corrupt other parts of the solar system. Like we saw that there were parts of Europa and Mars that were getting corrupted by the Lord of Every Nothing tentacles. Like we see those in I think even Venus had some. But there we saw that in the Lawless Frontier. There's the heavy is it heavy metal? The heavy metal map that has the tentacles on it. You know? I'll keep that. Yeah, I think distortions are over. Yeah. Do you think we were eventually going to hear from the gardener? We've already heard from the gardener before. Sundance from the Final Shape. That was the gardener. Yeah, so, and we've heard from the gardener in a couple different Lord Habs, so yeah, we've heard from them before. The question is more so like, would we have heard again in a different context? Maybe. That would have been nice to hear again from the gardener. Do you think Savathun and Bale would still be allies if 6 is gone? Well, it's mostly like Bale was just like the proxy between the deal of Lord of 6 and Savathun. So the deal might still be in place. It just might be that Bale is kind of out of the picture. I need to read up on Heresy lore because I have no idea who that is. Yeah, the Lord of Every Nothing was kind of like the hidden antagonist in the background of Heresy. It was like what was responsible for all the tentacles and the Dire Taken. That was the Lord of Every Nothing. Lowen, as we call him. I'm gonna go quickly grab a snack, guys, because I'm pretty hungry, and then we're gonna work on more triumphs. Get those done. I'll be right back. I am back. Let's go to the tower. When I made a sandwich. I made maybe some people will see this as nasty, but I made a peanut butter and banana sandwich. Pretty bussin'. Bread, peanut butter, and banana. Ah, look at that, guys. Let me. Why is my stream so delayed? There we go. See that? That's nasty. It's not nasty, dude. It's actually really good. You should try it. It actually slaps. You have a... I think I dropped frames at some point, so my stream was a bit backed up, but it's normal now. You had me at bread. I'm from the UK, so not a fan of peanut butter. Is peanut butter in the UK different? Oily ass peanut butter. You got that like good old natural peanut butter. Ooh, are these free? Thank you, man. You gave us nice little ships. Thank you, guys. Okay, let's just destroy this sandwich. Peanut butter isn't popular in Europe. Damn, dude. Peanut butter is goated. How do people not like peanut butter, man? Like, I could see if people are like, I don't eat Nutella. Nutella's not really for me, but I could see people like the more like, I feel like more like candy sauces, like Nutella. It's like, I can understand not liking that, but it's peanut butter, man. That's just gas.
Recording data is easy, but recording data
Marmite and butter is heaven.
Now that is an art form.
Hell no. I will say though, I've had UK jam before. Like I went to this shop that like it imports stuff from the UK. Had some of their jam. It's pretty freaking good, dude. Pretty good jam. You know what I'm saying?
It must have been hundreds of years old, from before the travel.
Six leaves bail, but Lowen offers mutual help to bail. Maybe. I feel like, I mean, the story they were going down was that Nezarek was working with the Bales, or with the Dredgens, so I think it would be more likely that Nezarek would be involved rather than oh my god. Rather than Lowen.
From before the traveler, maybe.
Was it your jam? It was my jam. It was my jam.
It's not so bad here.
It's because it's real fruits in the jam? I know, I mean, like, like in Canada we got proper jam. In America it's like, I feel like it's all jelly. Like you don't got the fruits in there, guys. We got the fruits, but it was pretty good.
I trust our girl. She always knows.
Almost done my sandwich.
Shoot, punch, stab, strike. Ever resolved the conflict with words?
Nezzy has roots outside of what we know, yeah. He's like a pretty big character in the background. He's like a big background character for sure. And what's interesting is I always like the link that Nezarek has to like the working calendar for Marathon. It's like, it's so crazy to me. It makes me come up with this conspiracy that like Nezarek universe jumped or something.
It was a hot class chassis, but modded so much it isn't right.
Are there any 9s trying to help us? Basically the inner 9s. So like 9, so the 9 of 1, 2, 3, and or sorry, I mean 3 is dead, but of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 9, those guys are friendly for the most part. I mean, they're like, they still ultimately want to like transcend themselves and escape their orbits ultimately, but they're doing it in more so in a way that's like not hostile, you know? That's right, Kamikaze. Escape will make them God. Sandwich done. Damn, we got an Iron Lord Gilded 7. Holy smokes. Okay, let's do more triumphs. Those are done. I gotta do more campaign ones. I have one, do the Ascent with Kvostov. I'm using Kvostov right now, so let's just do it. It's a Pale Heart one, right? The Ascent. I was honestly thinking of getting that Escape Will Make Me God from Bungie store now, but now I think I'd be clown for wearing it. Is it like a t-shirt? I wouldn't be afraid of wearing it, dude. The vast majority of people who exist in the world do not know what Marathon is. They don't know what Destiny is. They don't know about the beef. And even if you did meet somebody who knew what Marathon is, the chances of them being like, "Oh, you like Marathon? Loser." Like, the chances of them doing that is like literally zero. So I wouldn't worry about it, man.
I understand the fear. I feel it.
I wouldn't worry about it. I like the Marathon aesthetic is pretty goated, man. I wouldn't worry about it. People will clown you for quite literally anything, dude. It's so funny, like, you'll see posts of it's like somebody's just taken public transit. They're sitting on the subway. And they just got like no bag, they're just traveling. And someone's like, "Yo, this dude here just sitting." Bros, and they'll like post it online and it'll get like thousands of likes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't even worry about it, man.
Hey now, who put who on their back when we threw down?
Oh, come on. You caught me by surprise.
Having Cade back, it's almost like he was never gone. Like the Traveler knew it needed to make the fire team whole again.
Yes.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong.
The Traveler knew that they needed to sell this expansion really badly. So they brought Cade back to life.
I need to tell you something before we go any further. Meet me
How do you guys feel about the news about Marathon's PvE mode that they announced yesterday? I'm pretty excited about it. I'm a big fan of roguelikes, so having like a roguelite mode for Marathon, I think will hopefully be pretty good. I don't know, man. It's kind of weird, like... Why is it so laggy right now? Sounds great. I hope it works out for them. Yeah, me too, man. I'm gonna check it out when it comes out. But I've seen a lot of people who are like on the more hardcore Marathon side who don't like the idea because they think it just dilutes what Marathon is supposed to be. I've seen some people say like Marathon PvE mode is anti-art, which is kind of a crazy statement. I just feel like
What was that?
like I don't dislike the Marathon or the PvE or the extraction mode. It's just obviously not popular enough to sustain the game, right?
I need backup. Girl wants to talk about how wonderful
And so I feel like
brought me back. Like Cora hasn't
it's
done
just
enough
like,
of that already.
you know, if you want to play it, you should be able to play it. I don't think it should take away from the PvP mode, right? But just give people more options. I think is better.
The dragon that twists
Not gonna lie, I don't care about it. Yeah, I think that's fair too.
What the
You
hell
know?
made you think that was a good idea?
We were out of options.
Nobi labs are open.
I remember thinking that I wanted to do this because I had
you can
to
go
make
to the. You
things
can't do the
right.
puzzle, but you can just go to the area, right?
Just before I took the plunge, I remember thinking about the Great Kate 6. No light, no ghost. Fearlessly staring up at me from the wrong side of his own gun. And there you were.
And there I was.
There you
I should
was.
have told you sooner.
No, you did the right thing keeping this between us. Ikora and Zavala can't know the truth. Not right now.
I was going to get the
They
game,
need
but I wouldn't
faith.
play it
Right.
that
And
much
I
because
need a drink.
it was more of a team game in my opinion, and the last thing I want to do is play with randoms. I kind of felt that way too, Master. Or like, I did do random fill in Marathon a couple times, and it just wasn't as fun as playing with a team, like like my team that I played Marathon with. And it also, I felt like it wasn't as fun solo. So I was kind of like, you know, I mostly just played as a set group or as a solo. And eventually, like, what kind of pushed me away from Marathon wasn't really anything too core. Like, I didn't, like, the extraction mode I kind of grew tired of. Because I kind of got bored of the maps. But the meta is, like, was so ass that that kind of pushed me away. Wasn't the biggest fan of, the bubble spam and the self-revive and shit. I was just felt like Destiny 2 PvP all over again, and I was like, hell, I was like, oh my god, I've played these games before, man. I've played these games before.
I know all about the Black
You know.
Garden. You sure you don't want to talk about why you're back?
The why doesn't matter. Never did. Just stay focused and clear a path up the mountain.
Wouldn't it cause chaos if the celestial bodies didn't have their consciousness when you bind the 9 to the third beings? Like, you mean when the 9 or the 3D beings? Like, you mean when you bind the 9? Well, when you bind the 9, they don't lose their, seemingly from what we know. I mean, we don't really know much about binding the 9 because it never ended up happening in the story. But as far as we know, they didn't stop being conscious. It's just that they stopped being able to manipulate time. So maybe it would cause problems, but in terms of like space-time stuff. But as far as we know, you know, it wouldn't have changed anything, really.
Okay, and blasting Vex feels really, really normal.
Just know that the Traveler has.
What happened to all the survival sandbox genre?
Use the light.
Bro, they ain't got new game in years. Ark was banging for a while after release. Rust was good too.
You could be capable of things you don't even
Yeah, I
realize.
mean, isn't there like Ark 2 come in development or something like that? I don't know. I feel like most survival games we get nowadays are more so like just chill, cutesy games. Kind of like Subnautica or the new like Planet Crafter game. Can you explain what the Winnower is in a few seconds? The Winnower is one of 2 primordial creators of the universe that existed before existence. You know, they were the ontological forces that existed within the garden before time. It was the Winnower and the Gardener. The Gardener and the Winnower were basically the co-creators of the universe. They created everything together. They created life. They created structures, and they used these structures in what was called the Flower Game, which was basically the game of life, where they ultimately saw which creation was supreme over the rest, right? That ended in the final shape. The Gardener did not like the game because the game always ended the same. It always ended with the Vex winning. And as a result, the Gardener tried to change the rules of the game. The Winnower did not like that very much, and so they battled in the garden before time, and their battle created the universe, essentially. And so the Gardener and the Winnower then, when the universe was created, entered into the universe as rules within the game, within the final Flower Game. That was the universe. And so the Winnower and the Gardener basically became the paracausal forces of the light and the darkness, the Traveler and the Veil. As they engage in this cosmic wager and battle for the basically the conclusion of the universe. Will the universe end in the final shape, or the only things that exist are the things that must exist for existence to exist? Or will the flowers of the game, when given power over creation, will they choose to build a peaceful kingdom full of complexity and life? That's essentially this whole story of Destiny. That's basically what it is. That's what the Winnower is. The Winnower is kind of like the final boss, the final big bad.
You know, one of the first things my ghost Sundown said to me
The source of the darkness.
You remind me of her a little.
In what way?
And in that way, like,
Pain in my ass.
the Winnower is kind of... It is just straight up the final boss. Like, if we ever got a Winnower saga, and let's say because the Winnower, because of what the Winnower is, it is this primordial force. It is the idea of simplicity itself. You know what I mean? Like, it is a concept. It's a living concept. It's difficult to be like, yo, can we kill the Winnower, right? That's not really... It's hard to say whether that's something that can happen. But let's just say, hypothetically, we kill the Winnower. You know, that would basically be the final boss. There would be no... They're like... That would... excuse me. That would be basically it. There wouldn't really be anything more, because it is just the final boss. Like, there's no other enemies that could be anywhere near that level. And so then I would see that kind of being the end of Destiny. Like, once a Winnower saga is concluded. How does the Witness fit into this? Now that's a much bigger, that's significantly more complicated. That I don't know if I can do it in a couple seconds. So the okay. So the Witness is the first knife. And so if you read the Book of Unveiling, which is the origin story of the universe, that's where you learn about the Gardener and the Winnower, the Flower Game, where they battled, and you know, in their battle they created the universe. It talks about how when they were about to battle, it talks about how the Winnower discovered the first knife. And this first knife is the same thing that the Winnower, that the Witness claims to be. And when we read about what happened in this creative event, when the when the Winnower and the Gardener battled, it says that the flowers in the garden, right, in the garden before time, got pushed into the universe. And when they got pushed into the universe, the flowers basically became the life that's within the universe. It became, you know, humanity. It became the Vex. It became the Cabal. Like, it became everything that exists in the universe. And that is also true with the first knife that the Winnower discovered, right? Oh, stream died for a second? Did it? Is stream good for you guys? Oh yeah, I think it did. I don't know what you guys missed, but what I was talking about. But essentially, like, the witness is that first knife. You know, or the precursors that became the witness was that first knife that got pushed into the universe, which turned into the life. Didn't die on YouTube? Okay, good. Yeah, mostly it's Twitch that has that issue. You know, and that became the witness. And so the witness was, you know, when it became the precursors, right? It was the first species that was chosen by the Traveler, aka the Gardener, to be blessed by the light. You know, and as a result, it had the power to manipulate creation. And we read lore books that we read in this lore book called Entelechy about how the witness precursors went around and terraformed a bunch of planets in order to seed life on those planets. But what it found was that despite the power over creation it was given by the Traveler, it was still unable to prevent suffering from happening. And as a result, it found that this was an intrinsic flaw with the light, where, you know, it hated suffering, but the light couldn't end it. And so it sought out a different force to try and, you know, give shape to the garden in a way that prevented suffering. And so it found the veil and the darkness. Is the Traveler like representative of the Gardener and the veil for the Winnower? I'm gonna get to that after. That's an even more complicated answer. So I'll get to that after. But yeah. So it sought out the darkness and it found the veil. And with this, it learned about kind of it learned a little bit about like the Winnower and the philosophy of the final shape, that existence winnows itself down to its perfect final existence. And it learned of the philosophy of the Winnower, which believes that those who fail to exist do not suffer because they no longer exist. And so the witness kind of became, it didn't fully adopt the philosophy of the Winnower, but it kind of, in a way, merged it's the philosophy of the light and the philosophy of the Winnower, or the philosophy of the Gardener and the Winnower together, where it sought to end suffering, but it didn't want to remove complexity from the universe. So what it did instead was try to create a final shape where instead the universe was frozen in time, where nothing could ever happen again. And so it preserved the complexity of the universe, but because nothing could ever happen ever again, suffering could never happen ever again, right? And so that's basically what the witness is. It's this weird amalgamation and merging of the philosophy of the Gardener and the Winnower. And this is backed up by some other lore, like there's a lore book called, or lore entry called Winnowing from the Inspiral lore book, which gives a bit more clarity about what happened in the events of the Unveiling lore book and the nature of what the knife is. And it's basically, you know, paints the picture that the knife, the first knife, was created not just by the Winnower, but in collaboration with the Gardener as well. Because that's, in the Garden Before Time, it was the Gardener and the Winnower who created together. And so, too, that first knife was created by both the Gardener and Winnower together. And as a result, you know, that's kind of what we see of the witness. It is, you know, the fusion of the philosophy of the Winnower and the Gardener, right? So that's basically what it is. In terms of, is the Traveler representative of the Gardener and the Veil representative of the witness, or of the Winnower? Yes and no. So it's complicated. Yes, in the sense of, like, they are in essence the same, but are distinct in some of other ways. It's the best way I try to explain it is it's almost Trinitarian, like the Christian Trinity, where, you know, it's like God is 3 in person but 1 in essence, you know, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. It's a similar relationship with the Gardener and the Traveler and the Light, where they are 1 in essence, like the Gardener, Traveler, and Light are all 1 in essence, but are distinct in their properties and in their actions, and well, not actions, but like in their uses, their purpose, you know what I mean? Like the Traveler is like the Gardener is the Traveler, but also the Traveler is a tool of the Gardener at the same time. So it's this weird thing. So it's multiple things at once. That's why it's kind of Trinitarian in a way. And the same thing is true with the Winnower and the Veil, or the Veil, the Winnower, and the Darkness are 1 in essence, but are distinct in different ways, right? So there's separation, but there's also unity. You know what I mean? That's the best way I can really explain it. It's not 1-to-1 with like a Trinitarianism, but it's similar. So that's why I use that as an example. As far as what we know, right? What's up, Dorka baby? Yeah, a tool. That's what I think I meant. Yeah. It's both is the Gardener and a tool of the Gardener at the exact same time, which is weird, right? It's weird. Like, it doesn't make sense, but it, you know, like, you have to look at it from a different perspective. Your interpretation of the Witness meshing both philosophies of the Gardener and Winnower to make its own was at first an actual good take on it. I do want to talk about it at some point. I had the whole, like, before the whole end of service news, I was working on the Unveiling series, where at first I dived into the Paraverse stuff, talking about the origin story of the universes. And then I was going to get into the nitty gritty of like, okay, what is the flower game? What's the game of possibilities? Like, how does that work? And then I was going to talk about the knife and my third part, which was going to go over the Witness and, you know, the merging of the philosophies and whatnot. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to continue that series in the same way I did. Like, I don't know if I'll be like, hey, this is part 2, rather than maybe I'll just like make videos and I'll just be like, hey, here's this part of Unveiling, and I'll just talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, I do want to make a video talking about the Witness and what it means as the first knife, and how its philosophy is the merging of the Winnower and the Gardeners. You know what I mean? At some point. What if I told you Tanix is the Winnower? I wouldn't be surprised, man. That guy just keeps coming back. Doesn't go away. Okay, what else do I gotta do, guys? Destroy splinters within each of the 3 surrounding storms to summon a fearsome foe in the descent. Right. Destroy splinters in each of the 3 major surrounding storms. And what was the mission? In the descent. Do you think if the Witness never intervened with the Hive, do you think they would have fought with us? Well, theoretically, if the Witness like fought, what do you mean like fought with us? Like fought against us, or fought with us against the Witness? But like if the Witness did not intervene with the Hive and push the Hive towards the pact with the worms,
There's a storm gathering.
then they would have been uplifted by the Traveler, but then likely they would have just had another collapse. Like they probably would have been wiped out by the Witness and the pyramids in the same way every other species was. You know?
He turned away from me. I don't know what he plans to do. He won't let anything stop
Did you
him.
read the new lore book they gave everyone? Yeah, I read it. You could read it on launch day on through the API. I read it on launch day. I'm gonna be going over and making. You can basically make a lore book
can't blame her.
I might make a video
Zavala say?
going over like basically like one video per entry in that lore book, because like there's a lot in there to go over.
Take down anything that's standing between Zavala
So I will be
and Ghost.
covering it at some point on the channel.
I've got an idea. If you
Probably
leave
with us.
the statue that implored Zavala
I know, but like
to
with
self-destruct,
us, like with us in what sense? Like with us against the witness, or with us they fought
Get them to talk.
against
they'll
us?
speak
You know what I
up, they
mean?
have something to say. That's
Like
what
which
I
one?
do.
Against,
Come on.
together?
Let's establish a rapport.
I want to see a showdown of Tanix versus Kelgroth. That'd be actually sick.
Where is he?
Did Tanix ever get
Young came
taken?
this way.
I don't think he did, right?
Commander seeks our witness. But without you,
There's a blank space for another lore book next to it.
many,
Let me look at Ishtar. I'm pretty sure it might just be like a bug.
those who have not yet been culled from the collective will guide him. We who have been bound will lead you. You must break.
On Ishtar, there's only
So is that an offer to help?
8 books.
Hello?
Or 8 entries.
Pointing to our doom. Let's go.
Oh, against the witness? I think that because because if they were uplifted by the Traveler, they definitely would have fought against the witness if the witness ever tried to do a collapse against them. But, I don't know. The question is, would they survive that collapse? Or would they have just ended up kind of like the Fallen, you know? And there's only 8. There is only 8 entries. In the lore book. So it might just be a weird, like, in-game thing. Do we know what, 1 second, let's get rid of this freaking Triumph, dude. Do we know what this lore book is? The question mark one? Because I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if I've just stupid. I never picked it up. I don't know which one it is. Herald being Chelchis is more likely than being Tanix? Yeah. It is most likely Chelchis. Or more than likely.
It's building.
I thought there was... Wasn't there an... Am I crazy? Was there lore that... Like, there was... It was mostly just like... It was never confirmed that it was Chelchis, but there was like... There was mostly like fan theories. Wasn't there like a lore entry that kind of pushed it in that direction? That it might have been Chelchis? So, okay, I gotta find a splinter
It sounds like
now.
those statues are prisoners of the witness, just as Zavala believed. I hope he feels vindicated.
The statue
Might be stupid, but I'm in the tower at the moment, and my guardian has a scroll in their hand? What?
Judging by the guards, our next contact is in here.
Yeah, that's basically what you're talking about? Oh, like the, so you're talking about the blank lore book. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what that is. It's not in the API. So, it could, like, I doubt it's a secret lore book. I mean, maybe it could be. But it would be in the API by now, I think. Unless Bungie wants to add it on their final hotfix. I think? I don't know, though. We'll see. That's the final copium, I guess. That there is a final lore book that's hidden. I don't think so. The Chelchis theory pretty much solely exists to give the boss significance because it's more of a random video game type of boss. Yeah. It is kind of like that. It's like a random elixir.
Want to help us find Zavala?
I think the theory has to do with the witness being present at Reese and having the power to take.
Why did you reach out to him in the first place?
Other than that.
voices are many, but our voices are weak.
One of the things, whenever it comes about the conversation about whether the witness can take or not, I never, like, really know if it can.
Do you think we can trust them?
Because sometimes the lore is like, because it talks about how, like, oh, you know, like in Heresy, Oryx is like, I created the Taken.
It's my fire.
And so it's like, oh, okay.
Fire team's a family. No sign of
Did
Zavala yet.
But he was right about the statues. They're trying to help us.
does that mean like there's a difference between being able to control the Taken versus creating them. And we know that the Witness had control over the Taken. Question, but it's like you can control them and not create them. And I don't know if he did, if Witness had that power. Like, he had the power to move worlds, which is the core parts of what makes. That's like half of what the power to take is. Like, it's basically the power to teleport something from one place to another. The difference is, in order to take something, you have to teleport the enemy into the deep, where it is then hollowed out, right? And so, why are these guys pushing me, dude? Damn. And so and the deep itself is directly connected to, you know, the winnower, and the question is, you know, did the Witness have that deep of a connection?
Commander, come in. Commander, answer your comms now.
In the Witch Queen, they said the power to take is the power of the Witness, and Southern says the Witness was the original master of the Taken. If I remember correctly, that was like a truth. That was like a 2 truths 1 lie mission or something. About Witness being. No, I don't think it was that he was the original master of the Taken. It was more so.
In darkness.
Like, oh, the Witness is the master of the darkness or something. But there was a thing about in Season of the Lost, which talked about the master of the Taken. But the wording, though, I remember the wording though not making it seem like I'll need to relook at it, but the wording made it not as clear. Oryx could mean that he was the first entity to actually utilize the power of taking. The Winnower is the original master? Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's because it's the Winnower that is who basically creates the Taken. Because effectively the power of taking is just teleporting the enemy into the deep, where the Winnower then hollows them out, right? And so the master of the Taken is ultimately the Winnower, and the creator is ultimately the Winnower. But the power to take, you still need a a connection to the deep. Because you can have the power to move worlds, but in order to use it to take something, you need the deep to do that. It wasn't True Truths 2 Lies. It wasn't from True Truths 2 Lives. It was when going over Sagira's memory, when Savathun was retelling the memories to herself. Yes, but some of those are still unreliable, though. Like, some of those, I remember some of them still being false. I'd have to look at what the wording is.
You were once part of the Witness. Can you just tell us how to defeat it?
I'll need to look at what was said in Season of the Lost. I'll need to see what was said.
Commander needs the light. You will set us free.
What was said in Witch Queen. Because the thing about, like for example, Savathun used Curia to take things, right? And that was because Curia had a simulated version of Oryx that allowed... Okay, I'm missing a splinter. Had a simulated, like, version of Oryx that allowed it to tap into that power. Where the splinter? Did I miss it? Why would she be telling herself lies? As we progress, we rediscover her memories in the witness. Are you talking about in the campaign or like in the missions afterwards? Because in the post-campaign memory mission stuff, like some of those were definitely fake. Like they were definitely falsehoods. But in the actual campaign, did I miss a splinter? Bruh. Maybe if I die. It's up before you jump down. Fuck. Fuck. Might be cooked. I have like a sniper. Look at this. God damn it! I thought I shot that one though. Because I shot one when I jumped down, when I was up there, and one when I jumped down. Unless there's another one up there. Orcs talked to the Winnower and got the power to take. When the Winnower spoke through Lodi, he was taken. Yes, like like the question is more so like we know that the power to take comes from. It comes from the Winnower. The question is, did the witness have access to that power? Oh, this is weird. This looks odd. Jetpack up. Smart. Oh, or do you mean the Praxic Vestment? How does that work? I've never used that exotic ever. You gain the air move jetpack, arc-powered melee final blows. Weapon and arc, okay. Okay, maybe I can use that. But I can also use this. Oh wait, no, it's this one that I need. Fuck. Let's re-get that. I believe so, since the witness was able to move worlds. Yes, but the power to move worlds is only half of the taking process. Like you can move worlds. Like the whole point is like the power to move worlds is just to teleport. Right? What? Oh my god. I pressed the wrong button. Right? Like the other half of the power to move worlds, or the other half of the take is of taking it is you're teleporting whatever you're taking using the power to move worlds. You're teleporting that thing into the deep. And so you need a connection with the deep. In the campaign, she says the power of the take is the power of the witness. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it's not the power of the witness, though. It's just not. It's not the power of the witness. It could be a power that the witness has. She said that Oryx had a lesser understanding of the power. Yes. Well, that's likely because the witness used the power to move worlds, to actually move worlds, rather than just take. Like, the power to take is the power of the winnower, for sure. Like, it's not the power of the witness. Did the witness have control over Oryx? No. Oryx did his own thing. Oh, it charges? The Oryx was more of like a winnower guy. Ah, it does charge. Nice. See if I can jump myself up here. Okay, nice. Huge. Huge. Parkour. I'll look into it. I'm not denying that the witness has that power. But I don't know. I don't know. I need confirmation. Okay, so now I use my air move. What the fuck? You think we'll know Sony should We all know Sony should greenlight D3, but do you think they will? I got no clue, man. I got no clue. I hope so, but who knows? Dude, why is it so hard to use? Mantle, thank you. Then I don't think the witness had control over the Taken. The winnower had them both in control. Oh, you're so right. Oh my god, I forgot about the whole you can rocket grenade launcher yourself. Where's Okay, Dim is taking 20 years. I forgot. Wow. Okay, I can't believe it just did that to me. What the fuck? Let's heal up. Oh, wait, I can't heal in the storm. Okay, I need a healing grenade. Hold the button. Hold what button? Motherfucker. Okay, let me go in here and heal. Oh, guys, can you leave me alone? Man, fuck off, guys. There we go. Oh my god. Okay, okay. No! I hate this fucking exotic, dude. This is gonna get shit. Oh wait, I have my sword. I'm actually so stupid. Fuck me, dude. Yeah, let's go heal again. Dude, I low-key probably could have just restarted this mission. That would have been faster than this shit. Okay. This. No way! Wait for it. Yeah, chill, chill. Okay, nice, nice. Big one, big one. Nice, dude. Okay, I need to wait for my healing grenade to come back. Hold jetpack button, it charges, and they fixed it so it doesn't have wall collisions. I'm trusting you. Not flying me. Oh. Okay, okay, we're chill, we're chill. Okay. So now I'm here. I'm up top. I'm looking for the splinter. Okay. Where the splinter, man? Did I like pass it? Dude, what the fuck, dude? I already destroyed a splinter. Oh, here it is. Oh. There we go. There we go. We did it. Ah, the abomination. Ow. Is that it? That's all I need to do? I need to complete the mission though, but nice. Okay. We did it. Oh, let me take this shit off. I need freaking prismatic. I'm on mono subclass. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Give it to me. Budget prismatic. Yeah, I don't know about the whole witness being able to take thing. It makes sense that it does. A part of me, the only reason why I'm like, did it really have that power is just because of it doesn't have the best relationship with the gardener, or sorry, with the winnower. So I'm like, would the winnower be like, would it lend its power to the witness?
Any of us are strong enough to do this alone.
You know what I mean? Well, maybe it would. I mean, it is the first knife of the witness after all, or of the winnower. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of difficult. I feel like, once again, with the whole witness thing, it's kind of... Some of the things I feel like Bungie was still just trying to figure out everything as they went along. Like, you know, the whole witness winnower thing. But you couldn't say the same about Lord of Every Nothing. The darkness is always taken, not given. If the witness had the power to take that power for itself, the winnower wouldn't stop it. I guess that's true. That is actually true. And for Lord of Every Nothing, I mean, the thing about Lord of Every Nothing is it talks about how it's, you know, it carved, it took pathways, you know, away from the, where that should belong to the winnower. And so it makes sense that it can take it away, like almost as though it's like, I mean, I don't know what pathways it's taking, but it could be yoinking parts of the deep or something, you know? Allowing it to take on its own, subverting the witness in that, the winnower in that whole process, which is why the dire taken are different or whatever, as well.
I'm sensing a surge of energy, but I can't pinpoint Zavala's location.
It's probably
Yeah, I guess you're right, Ultrarisen. Like, because the winnower talks about how it's the question, it's not the answer. Like, you know, if the witness was able to tap into that, you know, that power,
but something could still be thrown off the signal.
it could do it on its own.
Even if that isn't the case, you don't
And I guess we'd have to look at the context of like when Oryx says, "Oh, I created the Taken," or you know, like they are mine. Like you say they aren't Hive, but they are Hive or whatever. It could have also been in reference to the Taken of the Dreadnought, maybe, considering that's where the whole story was happening, and that's just the Taken within the Dreadnought were his. If that was the context.
Fall in love. Lose himself to grief. You forge a bond. Seal your fates. And yet you're not sure if you can do the only thing you were made to do for the one person you were meant for?
But yeah, it seems most likely.
Well,
The thing is, like, I kind of want... part of the reason why, like, another part of the reason why I don't want the Witness to, like, have had that power is because, like, I want the Witness to be seen as, like, a LARPer, dude. I get LARPed as a darkness figure when it really wasn't. He wasn't that guy, okay? But the Witness really wasn't that guy. You really weren't that guy, dude. Well, Oryx was that guy, dude. Oryx had aura. Even Korea had aura, dude. Like, low-key, Korea had more aura than Oryx. Not Oryx. Definitely not Oryx. Than the Witness. Them's two are the only ones allowed to take, okay? Even though the Witness is the most powerful darkness user, so I don't think it's impossible. You wouldn't be able to take. Yeah. I agree.
Our signal is coming from another one of the
And it's not like he didn't have any, like they didn't have any connection to the Winnower at all. It was more so a philosophical difference. So yeah, and like what Ultrareason said, if you can take it, you know, it's all about taking the darkness. So you could definitely use it. Hell nah, what? Hell nah to what? That Korea has more aura. Korea definitely had more aura than the Witness, dude. Definitely. Where does man down? Oh. Dude, the Panoptes model is so sick, dude. I think Savvy's saying that the power to take originated from the Witness as a byproduct of the Witch Queen era writing. That's the thing, right? Like, that's what I agree. Like, that's what I mean when I say that it's almost like Bungie was making it up as they went along. Where's my... Oh, I don't have Roaring Flames on, that's why. And that's kind of why, like, they didn't really know what they wanted to do with the whole Winnower Witness situation. Like, almost as though they wanted to replace the Winnower with the Witness. If that makes sense. I'm convinced that with the Robert Brooks was talking about unveiling in the past, that he wanted to write the Winnower out of the story entirely. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at too. That's what I think as well. Because like it just doesn't make sense. Like you can't say it's the power of the Witness. Like it doesn't make sense. You can say it's a power that the Witness used and the Witness was able to access. And maybe you could even make the argument that it was the first one to take, like even before Oryx, you know, but it's not the Winnowers. Or sorry, it's not the Witness's power, you know. Roll Cat Aura, that's for sure. When is tanking the Traveler's Beam had more aura? No, the Traveler Beam wasn't even like, it didn't even do damage, dude. The Traveler's too, it's like, what? It didn't even tank, like, it's like, oh, it got hit with 0 damage. It tanked it. Yeah, dude. Like, of course it did no damage. It did no damage, man. I was doing no damage. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes, bro. Sometimes when you like, you have story that is written by so many different people with so many different visions, and you keep changing out who's directing the story all the fucking time, you end up with weird story moments like that, where it's like, it's very difficult to determine, like, what the power to take's relationship is with the witness. You know? Dude, these missions are long as shit.
Guardian, Tarj has a lock on the commander. Hurry.
Oh yeah, in an interview with some game journalist Brooks did back in season of the DP compared unveiling to Bible scholars debating whether or not the Bible was a parable or not. Yes, I remember that as well. Yeah, I remember that as well. I remember being like, bruh. Bruh. It made me anxious that he was going to make unveiling fake as a weird form of anti-religious social commentary. Oh, okay, we gotta watch this cutscene all over again. Come on now. We gotta watch it. What's up, Mad Raccoon? Yeah, that's what I don't know, like, it just didn't make sense. I'm like... And, like, when you look at the nature of, like, I guess the story of the witness, it does kind of have that, like, anti-religious commentary on it. Where it is kind of like, oh, the gods that do exist, you know, failed. Like, they claim to be good, but they're not. Because suffering exists or whatever. And that the witness is kind of a rebellion against this idea of a god or whatever. Like it already has that undertone to it. And so... Yeah, I think you're on something, Ultra. I don't know, man. The witness was always weird, man. I don't know. It was always such a weird addition to go that route. And it kind of sucks now, like, because the witness was the focus and not the Winnower. It's like, if we do a Winnower saga, we have to then redo the final shape stuff. So it's kind of stupid. Top 5 games. Destiny, Risk of Rain 2.
So we saw its opposite.
Dude, it's so crazy they just gave the precursors the fattest, dude, the biggest bazongas for no reason. I don't know why. Like,
your traveler had no tolerance for such vision.
And it left.
And we had no tolerance for its ambition.
Imagine if we got a Destiny movie, that'd be sick.
Force purpose from it. Driven by
Yeah, I don't know though, like
immutable will.
Destiny 2, Risk of Rain.
So we called our doubts. Fear.
Maybe Minecraft, I guess.
Anything that separated us, that clouded our intent, thus becoming one in darkness. What was made can be unmade. Meet us where we destroyed ourselves. Sieging laws.
The witness. Oh my god.
And now, we would have you join us Commander.
No!
I see what you are. What do you see?
I see fear.
Taj, no! We have done away with fear. We are not afraid.
Yes,
Yes.
you are.
I don't know, man. The Witness looks too goofy. It just mirrors the Veil. Was the Veil a Nothing Burger? No, I mean, the Veil is important. It's just they didn't explain it very well. Like, it's just the darkness version of the Traveler, essentially. The darkness inverse. Even with the Witness, I still view it as a biblical metaphor. The Witness is a mix of the devil and Adam and Eve. Precursors trying to combine the Veil and the Traveler, sort of a biting of the fruit moment. Yeah, it's definitely like an original sin. Like, it's a bit difficult. It's like, yeah, and the Witness, his goal is very similar to the devil and the creation of God proclaiming that it would be better than God. And it's also, if you look at the concept art of the Witness in the final shape, it literally just looks like a dragon, right? Like, it looks like the dragon from like the story of Revelation, who, you know, it's basically like a one-to-one like analogy, or I don't know, allegory, I don't know what the term is, but it's like the dragon invading heaven, waging war against the, you know, the warriors of God in the book of Revelation. It's like the same thing, like the dragon from the pit looks just like it. And then, yeah, and exactly, monolith, Witness's monolith looks like one of the famous depictions of the Tower of Babel, for sure. I definitely agree. It's almost like a part of it is because of how influenced Destiny is by Gnosticism, and the idea of like how creation and the physical reality is inherently evil or whatever. Like, that's part of it. How existence is just suffering and the spiritual realm and whatnot. So it's like a part of it is a mix of, because Gnosticism itself takes a lot from Christian theology. The Guardian would be the, yeah, St. Michael, the Archangel, yeah, for sure. What's up, Prexy, or Pyrex? Womp 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 wow. Okay, I gotta do another one. Solar Scythe, Desperate Measures, Beyond. Okay, let's do this one with Cades. I need to get kills with the Ace of Spades in the Ace of Spades mission. Do I have an Ace of Spades in my vault? I do not. Okay. Timeline. The Forsaken one, right? The art book for the final shape says the Witness was designed to be the devil of Destiny's mythos, and the Pale Heart was inspired by Dante's Inferno. Yes, and they talked about how Cade was the who's the guide? I don't remember his name in Dante's, but the guide who led Dante into hell, or throughout hell, and eventually up through purgatory. Whatever his name was. But yeah, you can definitely see the design of that in the final shape, especially with the concept art.
Today.
Yeah, I'm skipping. Skipping.
The prison of elders held some
Virgil,
of the
yes,
most
Virgil.
dangerous foes ever encountered. With the security systems compromised, there was little to prevent them from ravaging all of Sol. Petra Venge, right hand of the Awoken Queen, reached out to Cade and the Guardians.
Wait, she just gives like exposition dump? That's so funny. Yeah, so this is what happened in the lead up to this mission, which you will never see what happens afterwards because it doesn't exist anymore.
This is the security hub. Better clear the area before going in.
Use my super. Thank you. I'll use my super, dude. I need to know this. Spawn of Zivu. Oh shit, dude. They were building Zivu up from back here? Way foreshadowing. Gulp.
This says we need warden level clearance to open the door. Kate.
The Guardian has a grave. They've left unfilled and our inevitable confrontation with the Winnower would be a parallel to how Christ defeated death and rose again. Yeah. That's very true, man. The temperature here is deadly. Dude, this is what Forsaken was like, man.
These things, they used to be fun.
Oh wait, we don't even get the moment where we like see the fallen, the Scorn for the first time. What the fuck? It's just like, yeah, they're here now. Let's spawn 3 enemies.
Someone did this to them.
Oh baby, Cade, my man.
All that's left is the coup de grace.
My man. I remember doing this day 1, dude. I was originally when D2 first launched, I was originally a hunter main. I was a Titan main in D2. Or sorry, in D1, but you know, I wanted to switch it up a bit in the next game, so I became a hunter. And I played hunter throughout year 1.
Remember to purge the buffers.
Sure, got it. One question?
Oh, it's the music. I thought the fire alarm was going off, dude. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is a high-pitched ass sound. No, but and then I was like, I played through Hunter in D1, and I was like, you know what, dude, this shit is... I just grew so tired of playing Hunter, so I swapped to Titan. And so, like, Forsaken was the first time I started playing Titan again, after I was Hunter for the whole time.
Don't worry, we got this. Do your thing.
Dude, was enemy density really this bad in Forsaken? Where they spawned 2 enemies for you, dude? Was Destiny Infinity supposed to be all the IP's content combined? All we know about Destiny Infinity was that it was supposed to be like a relaunch for the game, but we don't really know what it would look like in terms of you know, in terms of what content we would have gotten. Hopefully, I mean, I would have liked it to like unvault like the original D2 campaign and whatnot, but who knows, right? Who knows, really? The OG mission was called Cade's Fate. Honestly, I do not remember.
Once I figure out how to turn the turret.
I do not remember. But this is definitely not the same mission as the first Forsaken mission. This is way different. Like you're fighting Scorn right at the beginning, which you don't do until the very end of this mission. So
Hey, buddy, what do you think of my new gun?
dude, stop killing my ads, man. I need to get 52 kills. I was Hunter in the D1 beta, decided to play Warlock D1 launch, and I've been Warlock main since. Stinking Warlocks, man. Hiding all the way, baby. I hate how the Ace of Spades Firefly works differently than the actual Firefly.
Can I just say I'm having the time of my life right now?
I wish they just made it like the same perk. Because it has a weird delay. Like, I think it's a more powerful Firefly, but it's weird. Ah. Blood Infernal. Are you blood or crypt? The first mission was called Last Call, I see.
Bringing the security system online.
My feelings on the Winnower is mixed because looking at old pyramid art, we were always going to fight the Witness or whatever the pyramid leader was, and that was going to be the villain. There was not really any art ties to the Winnower. Well, the thing about the Winnower is it's like it's formless. You know, it doesn't really it's not like it doesn't have a body, right? It's incorporeal, so it's hard to like draw it. But I could definitely see it being like some type of witness figure was always supposed to exist. As the leader of the pyramids, or like almost as how we are the chosen argument of the gardener. Like there would have been an equivalent for the Winnower maybe, and maybe the Witness was supposed to be that. But then they just tried to transition it, and eventually they made it so that the Witness was like the main focus, and the Winnower took a backseat when it should have been more so like in a similar way to how like we got introduced to Rolk in the Witch Queen, and Rolk was like, "Oh, you think I'm bad? Wait until you see my master, the Witness." Like that should have been like the same thing that happened with the Witness, where it was going to be like, oh, you know, you go through this whole arc and you're like, well, he was just the first knife. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't the guy.
Cade, he's gone.
He wasn't it.
A prison riot. It's a prison break.
I'm just not sure if the Winnower was always planned to be the big bad. In a way, you're kind of right. The pyramids were always planned by the devs to be the big bads, whilst the Winnower was predominantly the idea of Seth Dickinson. Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to say, like it's hard to say whether the Winnower was going to be a villain, or if it was just supposed to be like the voice of it was just like the voice associated with the darkness. Like it was just what the darkness is. And so like in the same way how it's like, oh, how do you kill an idea? Like how do you kill a concept? Like the Winnower was never going to be fightable, but it was just what the darkness was. You know what I mean? Just like how the light is the gardener or something. You know? It's like having to deal with two final shapes is silly. Exactly. That's one of the things that sucks, is that because of the way they went, where the Winnower was just put on the standby as we dealt with the Witness, and they both have ideologies of the final shape, it makes it really messy when, I mean, we'll see if we ever get a D3 or whatever, but if we were ever supposed to go against the Winnower, it's like, we gotta do this whole final shape stuff all over again. That's what kind of sucks. It's a testament to why it is a bad idea for the lore writers and campaigns and story writers to not be in communication. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, it almost feels like the Winnower was not important enough in the story, in the Light and Darkness Saga, and the Witness was too important. Like, they should have, like, shifted it a little. Can we get anything by replaying these? I don't know if you can get anything, but I'm just doing the Triumph. Okay, I'll show it after. We gotta look at the aura. I'm just doing the Triumph where you get Ace of Spades kills in the mission and stuff. God, dude, the Scorner are pretty cool enemies, man.
Sorry, not sorry.
Ultra Risen, do you know who wrote the In Spiral lore book? I know Seth Dickinson, he wrote Unveiling, and he's wrote the majority of the Winnower lore. But I'm wondering if he wrote the Winnowing lore tab in Spiral, or if that was a different writer. Because even in Spiral, like, even though that was like during Lightfall and the Winnower was still kind of on the back heel and the Witness was the main focus, that lore tab still puts it in the direction that the Winnower is really behind everything, you know? It makes me wonder if Seth Dickinson wrote that or not.
Oh, is that really all you got?
Cade be like, now let me pull out my ghost. Also, remember when the lore about this was like, the only way you can destroy a ghost is with paracausal energy or whatever. So you had, so the hunts, the rifleman had like a paracausal bullet in order to kill the ghost. But now you don't need that. You can just kill a ghost without needing a paracausal bullet. I think he might have, but I'm not certain. Throughout the Beyond Lightfall era, he pretty much only wrote the Collector's Edition lore books. Ah, I see. I see. Maybe we can look into it and figure it out. But Inspiral was also released during the same time when the Mythos of Unveiling was in the air of being true or not. Yes, it was in that era where it was like, because that was right before Season of the Deep, where Robert Brooks was like,
What's happening down there?
"Oh, is it real? Is it not?" But in Spiral, that final lore book, man, like, it tells you so much about the nature of the Witness and its relationship with the Winnower, and just the nature of creation, like. All that, like, what that Winnowing lore book does is it effectively just says, hey guys, you remember that that Unveiling lore book? Let's clarify things a little bit, or let's give a little bit more details. Like, it feels like almost Bungie saw us, like they were like, you guys got this all wrong. They're like, you guys did not understand what we were trying to write, and so let's make this clear. That's kind of what that Winnowing lore book reads like. But when you read it, it hints towards the knife. Like, at least in hindsight now, you read that lore book and you're like, oh, I think it's hinting towards the nature of what the Witness is right now. Like, when the Winnower is like, teases you about what the shape of the knife is. He's like, as for the shape of the knife itself, or whatever he says, it's obvious now that he's like, it's the Witness. Like, he's trying to push us in the direction of coming to the conclusion that it was the Witness that was the knife. And ultimately, they did end up going in that direction, where the Winnower did become important to the story again, because Robert Brooks, was he laid off? Was he laid off at the end of after Final Shape? And so, it's not like they were anti-Winnower the whole time, but everything about, like, the Witness being the first knife and whatnot was still part of his vision, I guess. So it's hard to know, really, whether they had come to the conclusion that they wanted to reintroduce the Winnower to the story at that point yet in Lightfall, or if it was like when Robert Brooks made that interview about comparing the Unveiling to biblical allegory or whatever, was him just trying to throw a wrench in the community's theory crafting, be like, maybe it's real, maybe it's not, like, cause us to question things and think about it a bit more. It's hard to tell.
My partner crawl in here and kill every last one of you.
If I had to guess, it was Allison who implemented the Winnower stuff. Yeah, that's, if I had to guess, that'd be, you know, I wouldn't be surprised. Because Final Shape went through multiple rewrites. Yeah, I think I would. I think you're probably right, Altruism. Considering that now the Fate Saga is Allison's vision, and it was going to be the Winnower Saga all along. So, you know, I don't see the problem with facing multiple Final Shapes. I don't see the problem with it either. I think I'm perfectly fine with that, Jace. It's just that for folks who are like surface level story enjoyers who don't read the lore books, they don't analyze what's going on, the nuances, and they look and they see that, oh, we just dealt with this Final Shape from the Witness, and the Witness said he's the final shape of, you know, of the Winnower, and then but now there's this other Winnower, the Winnower is here and he has a different final shape. It's like they don't know the nuances, and so it's confusing why we're kind of going through the same thing. When if you really dig into the nitty-gritty, it's like, oh, okay, you know, the Witness and the Winnower, despite their relations that they had, are not, they don't have the same vision, it's different, blah 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 blah. You know, it's more so of like a basic level story enjoyer. I'd be concerned about their experience.
Having no memory of his past, took on the name Crow.
Damn.
At first, the Vanguard tried to keep Crow in the dark about his past life and Uldren's crimes. But Crow is not Uldren. In time, we grew to understand that who someone chooses to be is more important than who they were.
No way. The thing is that despite the differences, the two we're dealing with two dark entities that have the final shape as the goal and an issue with the gardener. Exactly. It's like the same, it almost feels like the same thing over and over again. And that's why I think the way the Fate Saga started the way it did, because if they started and they were like, hey guys, we're immediately starting the Winnower Saga, and we're trying to stop the you know, the Winnower from doing the final shape in its battle against the gardener, people would be like, wait a minute, isn't that the same thing we just did, right? And so they need to recontextualize the story, which is why the Fate Saga existed, where it was like, hey, we're dealing with fate and the ultimate fate of the universe, that, you know, it will inevitably, that the Winnower will inevitably win, and he will be the ultimate existence, the final ultimate existence. You know what I mean? Like they're changing the context a bit so that it's, you don't understand it as like a final shape light versus dark dynamic, even though in reality it is. It's just that so it doesn't feel like you're doing the same story all over again. They made it like a fate thing where you're battling against inevitability. And that's why the first year seemingly, or the first year and a half or 2 years of the Fate Saga was about time, and the 9 was just to set up that context before transitioning into the Winnower. I think we're supposed to lead into the Winnower Saga. I don't think that's true. Just by the nature of what the 9, like, we are chosen to be. Why? Like, the reason why we are the weapon of the 9 is because the 9 see this inevitable future of the Winnower winning at the end of time. Right? They can see the future, they see this happening. And because we, as the Guardian, are the only beings in existence that are able to manipulate fate to our own liking, right? No matter what happens, no matter how the odds are stacked against us, even if time gods are manipulating reality, we are always able to not be affected by that and make our own fate. And so they choose us as the weapon because they see this inevitability, and they're like, the only thing that can prevent this fated end, like the end of the universe here, is if we get this being, the Guardian, who is not bound by any fate, to go against and tackle this inevitability, right? Like that's the thing, right? It's like the whole fate is of the Fate saga is about the Witness, or sorry, about the Winnower at the end of time. And so the Fate saga was the Winnower saga for sure. It's just that the first year or two was setting up our transition into the Winnower, into focusing on the Winnower more. But it was definitely the same saga for sure. Or like, I don't know, like unless it's supposed to be like a prologue saga, which was only 2 years, and then they call it the Winnower saga afterwards. Like, I don't know, but like, as far as we knew, the Fate saga was supposed to be multi-year, like probably another 10 years or 10 years or whatever. And so it wouldn't have just been like 10 years of the 9. It just wasn't going to be that. Because at least by the leaks that we had, in Shattered Cycle was when that was supposed to transition. It was supposed to turn into the Winnower saga. It could also be argued that the theme of the Fate was also touched on in the final shape. The Gardener is silent because it lets you make your own fate while the Witness chooses your fate. Exactly, right? That's another part of it. That is also why the Gardener is silent, because it's the whole point, the whole argument of the Gardener is that when given power over creation, the flowers will choose to create a peaceful kingdom rather than the final shape. And so if the Gardener is there to give you the power, but the wager of the Gardener is that creation will do it themselves, that they will build a peaceful kingdom themselves, regardless of input from the Gardener, right? You know what I mean? The Winnower is more interesting when it's not a villain. The Winnower more so is like, it's a villain in the sense of like, it has a philosophy that we disagree with, and like it's difficult. It's the Winnower is a villain, but it's also like, it's not as hands-on as like the Witness was. Like, it's kind of just, it's just a philosophy, it's an idea, and it just is the final thing, right? So it's kind of like, it's difficult to say that it's a villain, because it's not a villain in the same way as other things are. You know what I mean? But it's difficult. It's nuanced. What's up, Boshek? That's what I'm pushing for. That's what I'm pushing for Destiny Infinity. Full MMO mode. Framework is already in place. Yearly story expansions with smaller Monument of Triumph like updates twice a year. No need to spend crazy amount of building a new iteration. Yeah, I don't disagree, Boshek. I think that whether it be a Destiny Infinity, a Destiny 3, whatever, I just want Destiny to keep going, MMO features, that'd be sick. I just need more Destiny, man. The 9 thrash against the inevitable, both through and against us, and that shows through in what we got and this trajectory of what we didn't get. Both through and against us. Yeah. Part of the reason, excuse me, part of the reason I think the Witness exists is solely because the Winnower is meant to be a non-physical thing, so the Witness is supposed to be the darkness that we can actually fight. Yeah, it's kind of like supposed to be like the avatar of the darkness in a way, or the child, like the Antichrist. You know what I mean, like the child of darkness. But that just never ended up being what it was. I don't know. Bungie didn't write it that way. And a part of it might have been like, if they wrote it that way and the Witness was it, and it was supposed to be the true like avatar of the Winnower, doing the Winnower's will or whatever. Then if we killed the Winnower and then, the Witness, then that kind of would have been the end of Destiny. And I think Bungie would have wanted more Destiny. And so I think they also wrote it in a way so that they could have the Witness saga, but then also build up an entirely new saga to have another 10 years of Destiny, where we focused on the major big threat like the Winnower. And then after that, it probably would have been, unless they built another big bad Witness or villain up beyond the Winnower, I don't know what they would have done. But after Winnower saga, then it's basically over, because then it's more so like smaller scale expansion, smaller scale villains. You can't have these grand Thanos level threats if the Winnower's gone, you know. I also need to see what happens to the 9. I want to explore Chicago. Yeah, man. It really sucks because it's pretty. It seems most likely that the majority of the old Chicago play space was already completed. You know? So it sucks that like we're never gonna see like what happens, you know? What that destination looked like. Oh, dude, the whole campaign ones. These things take so long. They should release that as one last hurrah. That's what I'm saying, man. It doesn't make sense. Like, I feel like there's no way Old Chicago is not like 99% complete. There's just no way. And so it kind of sucks that they just that they couldn't just release it, you know? Like, the campaign is I'm willing to bet the campaign is 100% done. All the cutscenes are done. Like, those cutscenes, those like high-resolution cutscenes we get every expansion, those are done, like, a year in advance. Like, months and months in advance. Because they take so long to make. And so it's like, those are 100% done. Because Shattered Cycle was supposed to already be out by now. Like, if the delay didn't happen. And even if the end of service didn't happen, Shattered Cycle would have been out in, like, the fall or whatever. And so it's like, these things are like, the cutscenes are done. I'm willing to bet the campaign is done. The patrol space is probably all done. Like, basically everything's done, man. And so I'm willing to bet it's all almost like 95% done. Sucks. I've heard a reliable source say that Shattered Cycle wasn't as far in development as we think it was. But that doesn't, like, unless they would have delayed Shattered Cycle again. I'm dropping frames, guys. Sorry. Dropped a little bit of frames there. You know, like, how far? Any ideas where the 4th lore book is? No idea, man. It's not in the API, so I don't know. It's not on Ishtar, so it's either a bug or it doesn't exist. Or Bungie's gonna add it in like the final hotfix, which is next week. That's the final. If the lore book isn't available next Tuesday, it's not in the game. That's just what it is. It's just an empty spot for whatever reason. After the Witness, I wished we had more villains like Bale instead of another Cosmic Crisis. There is also the Pantheon Secret Triumph. We already know what that is. It's like a puzzle in the Consecrated Mind encounter. It's like a div puzzle. So you know the puzzle to get div? It's like one of those. You get like, I think it's just a basic triumph. Yeah, I do get that Brazier, or is it Brazier, Brazier? How do you say it? But I get that. Like, more smaller, like it does suck that every saga is like, here's a universal ending threat. You know what I mean? Like, I get that can be exhausting. You know? And I feel like the Fate saga, at least in the first 2 years, was going to be like that. Like, a bit, even though, like, yeah, it's the 9 and Extinction, whatever, but it was definitely still smaller scale than the Witness, but before they made that transition. You know? You know, guys. How far am I into this catalyst? 94%. Vehicle final blows. Fallow on Kepler. Oh god. Without taking damage from hazardous water. Yeah, the comms out of Bungie is making it sound like the next update patch notes will be the final update before going into hibernation. That's what it sounds like for sure. It like that's what DMG, I think that's what the D2 team's Twitter said, like that it's the final hotfix. Like, and any other updates they do after that will be like super minor. And to fix like game breaking stuff. So it is definitely the final hotfix for sure. My opinion is this is still the last update for D2 because they're still wording everything weird. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've kind of lost, the copium has kind of left my system. I think if there's a Destiny game in development, we'll know. But I don't think there is. I don't think so. As much as I wish there was. At this point, it's gone too far for it to be secretly in development. Like, basically after, like, the Bungie Foundation and them, like, they made a statement about, like, Destiny ending and stuff. Like, that's when I was like, yeah, it's over. Because, like, there's no way that if this was all a marketing stunt or it was all secretly in development that, like, Bungie's charitable organization would be making a statement about it. There's just no way. At that point, I kind of knew it was over. I feel like there's internal talks. Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think that people aren't advocating for, like, people at Bungie and Sony. Like, I bet there's people advocating, you know, they're working to try and get a future for Destiny, and I want them to keep fighting, and it's our duty as fans and as players to, like, keep fighting as well, because our advocacy, like, our passion for Destiny, logging on every day, still playing the game, it's like, that's ammunition for them to use to try and greenlight a new project. The problem is I just don't think that there is one right now. And, yeah, the thing Sushi about, if layoffs go through, I do think that there's going to be layoffs. Like, there'll be layoffs for sure. Even if there was, like, a Bungie game in development, like an incubation, you don't need 400 people to do an incubation at that early stages. Like, you need a small team. So even if there would still be layoffs, unfortunately. Yeah. The only hope is that that Sony has a plan. Like when Sony was, after the final shape, when Sony did big restructuring, they took a group of developers who were working on this game called codenamed Gummy Bears, and they created an entirely new development team called Team LFG. And the hopes would be that Bungie, or that Sony, would at least pick up some of those developers that are leaving Bungie and put them on the Team LFG, or Team LFG can make a new Destiny project or something under better management, you know. That's the only hope. Otherwise, I hope that these Bungie devs, if layoffs go through, that, you know, maybe they make their own studio and they make the Destiny type of game that they've been wanting to make for years, and they make their, like, a spiritual successor, you know, you know, Destiny 3 in spirit. That's the hope, man. Or they get picked up by another studio, and they make that studio makes a D3 in spirit, whatever it looks like. That's the hope, man. LFG is supposed to be making a League-like game. Yeah, it's making a hybrid. It's making a League of Legends Super Smash Bros. Hybrid game. That's what we know so far. Did you hear about Microsoft thinking about a Halo MMO like Destiny? I did hear that, but the source is kind of like, just trust me, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it would be cool. I wouldn't mind it. I think that'd be sick, but the source is kind of like iffy. Especially right now when Xbox is about to go through like major layoffs and stuff. Like, I don't know. Hopefully, but we'll see. It's time to hit my bed and get some sleep. See you later, Master. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. It sucks, man. This sucks. Why they gotta do this to my favorite game, man? To a game like Destiny. What are the Steam charts looking like? Damn, dude, we gotta get these numbers up, man. The fuck? 77K? Rookie numbers, man. Rookie. But I guess it's only... Dude, the way school has been... I've been back to school, like, a lot of hours, and the way it's been messing up my idea of time is crazy. Like, my days have felt so long this week. I feel like it's Friday, but it's actually Wednesday. So, it's so weird. It's so weird. Anyways, guys, still 100 times over marathon. Let's take a look. Let's take a look, guys. 7K. Yeah. I guess not a lot of people have, or a lot of people are still at work. You know, West Coast still at work. East Coast probably eating dinner, getting home. I was like the theory that Mithrax was getting the light. I think they would have made Elixir Guardians. I mean, I would have liked them to do it, but not just. They just didn't do it. Or do you want me to link the video I was talking about? Cool. Oh, the video you made? Okay, I'm down to watch that. I'm probably gonna call it tonight in a couple minutes, but I'm down. What time do I finish school tomorrow? I can watch it. I'll watch it tomorrow. And you can DM me tomorrow and get in chat and remind me. We'll watch it tomorrow. Okay, everybody. This is gonna be it for me. I'm gonna go eat some dinner, do some homework. Thing is, like, I want to grind Destiny, but I feel bad doing it off stream because sometimes, like, you know, this past week, because school has been kind of crazy, it's like I'm just too tired. I'm so freaking tired. So I'm like, oh, I want to play Destiny, but I don't want to do it off stream. But so maybe, you know, and instead I've been grinding Warframe. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll do a little bit of side hustle in Destiny behind your guys' back, you know. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching. I'll try to stream tomorrow, and I'll see you guys later, okay?